The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Welcome back to another episode of the BillsAholic Pod. And fellas, we are breaking it in.
Look around.
We are breaking it in. Here we are in the new OG room. Shout out to Maranto. He, there was a chance of us potentially squeaking in here this past. Oh, that was Tank. That was an early Tank sighting in the podcast.
The cameras here. New setup.
There's Travis. Oh, there's John.
Let's see if we got that.
Oh,
found it.
Hey. what a way for Tank to squeak into the podcast. He's gonna label it right now. Let's go. Shout out to Maranto, man. I mean, the progress is just crazy. This place, every time we walk in here every single week, there's something new, something exciting going on here. The lobby looks like it's pretty much done, which is awesome. And then we're in the new room. Fellas. I mean, it's roomy. Like when we walked in here, it felt, I don't want to say bigger. It kind of felt like when I walked in here, it was going to be a little bit smaller than the last room. But now that we're sitting down in here, like it feels more spacious in a way. Like I feel we can get our stuff in here. And I mean, we had a problem with not having enough stuff to fill the walls for the first time. So that's this. Like Tank said when we walked in here, we're moving up in the world. Shout out to Dylan. New setup finally arrived. What's up, guys? What's up, Dill? Thank you for tuning in live tonight. Yeah, the new setup is here. And we're popping off already. We got a couple of guys in here. Shout out to everybody in here tonight. Fellas, OTAs. How much more time do we have left in OTAs, or is that wrapping up? That's done, right? I was gonna say I thought
one
that
today.
Finished today, or does it finish tomorrow or something like that? Soon here.
I think they go Thursday.
Okay, so I got a couple more days. Finishing up. John, real quick, you weren't here last week.
No.
You weren't here last week.
Where were you?
North Carolina.
Visiting
McKenna's mom and stepdad.
There you go.
How'd that whole thing go?
Good. It was just nice to be down there. Weather was perfect.
Do any excursions?
No excursions.
There you go.
No excursions, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
What I mean, you got to talk to us, man. You were on the flight down there or on the way? It was on the way down there, right?
On the way down there, yes, sir. It was Thursday at McKenna. She knows. 6 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
You bumped into a couple of Bills players.
Yeah, I was able to meet Dorian Williams. Spotted him in a crowd of like 100 people. I was like, yeah, McKenna, I think that might be him. I don't know. And when he got closer, I was like, yeah, that's definitely him. I was able to like talk to him as he was boarding, first class, obviously. And then I saw and did like a little head nod with Curtis Samuel. And then there's a bunch of other Bills guys all heading down there. I think Dorian said they were just going to train for a little bit, which was weird because they had to head back 2 days later for OTAs.
Yeah, right.
I believe.
Right.
I don't know. But Dorian was super cool, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to him like, dude, you're Dorian Williams. And he was like, yeah, bro, you recognize me? And I was like, yeah, of course.
Of course.
It's like, oh, what are you doing going to North Carolina? I was like, oh, visiting some family. What are you doing? He's like, I had a little training. So he was super cool.
I wonder if maybe they got like somebody down there that they specifically trained with or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure because just looking at who was there, obviously Curtis Samuel, receiver, him a linebacker.
That's kind of odd.
I want to say one other dude had to have been either receiver, a D-back, and then some D lineman, it looked like.
Right.
But I didn't recognize those guys.
All over the team, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was pretty cool. I will say, dude, Dorian Williams is a large human being in person. I had to look up to him. And when he dapped me up, I'm pretty sure my hand disappeared.
Your hand was like,
yes.
Boom.
Curtis Samuel, I'm bigger than him. I'm just going to keep saying that because it makes me feel a little better about myself. Cool. But, yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool little experience. Yeah, start off my little trip.
Right, that's a tone setter. That's kind of
sweet. Yeah.
What am I kind of say? Something started with John.
These comments are a little bit easier to see. Well, first off, Casey, shout out to Casey being in here.
Shout out, Case.
Oh yeah, I was kind of pussy, because I approaching people, like especially when they're like trying to travel and shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it. His group got called. I was like, fuck it. I'll just go do it. But he was super cool. Dorian was probably the coolest Bills player or professional athlete I've ever met.
That is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. It is kind of sweet. Yeah, that's super cool.
And then super random on the plane ride back or in the airport back in
He met Josh, yeah.
in Charlotte. No. In Charlotte, the men's 18U basketball coach was there. How I picked him out of a crowd, I don't know, dude. No clue.
18U?
Yes.
For
The men's USA basketball.
Oh,
Something more.
That's kind of cool.
Shamar, maybe something like that.
That's kind of
Shamar Moore.
Something like that, but
That's kind of a cool.
I was like, couldn't tell
I
you.
don't know who that is.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I thought he was. Yeah.
To be honest with you. All right. Well, that's kind of sweet. We had to definitely get a little update from John since
Hell
was
yeah.
here this past week. Fellas, what was it yesterday morning? Justin Jefferson became the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. What, $35 million per season?
Yeah.
33, something in that
35.
something in that range. Yeah. I gotta ask you guys a question. So there's a situation going down in Dallas. I heard this on 550, and I kind of wanted to touch base on this because I thought it'd be a fun little segment to get into. But Dallas obviously has an interesting situation in their hands. They got a quarterback that needs to get paid, and they have a wide receiver that needs to get paid. I'm not going to be the one to say CeeDee Lamb is even remotely on the planet that Justin Jefferson is on. I think Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are probably the two best wide receivers in football.
Mm-hmm.
But we know how the league works. We know CeeDee Lamb is going to demand a healthy amount of money, right?
I heard he's already started too.
If and I don't remember who it was on 550. I don't think it was Nate Geary. But on the way home, they were talking about how this was yesterday. If they were to sign Dak to the contract that he's projected and to sign CeeDee Lamb to the contract he was projected, it would be over 35% of their cap with two players. 35% of their cap for two players. Casey says CeeDee Lamb's top two and not two.
No. Me and Casey a month ago had this argument, and he didn't believe me, so we pulled up the numbers, and Jay Jettas is clearly numbers-wise better. And when you think of, hey, man, who's the best receiver in the league?
I'm going to tell you Justin Jefferson.
Everybody will.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna tell you Justin Jefferson, and then
I'll give him two.
Okay, all right.
I'll put him two.
Do you think that Jamar Chase makes a healthy run at two? One healthy?
Nice three.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
The only thing, in my opinion, Jamar Chase doesn't have that Jettas and CD have is that contested catch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They go up and get that ball.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, about the CeeDee Lamb and Dak thing, gonna demand about 35% of their cap from between two players. Now, you look at teams around the league that have been successful, and the Chiefs being one, obviously, they dumped off Tyreek Hill right around that 27 years old. Dumped him off, saved a bunch of room by getting rid of him and not having to do that contract that the Dolphins eventually ended up taking on. But I gotta ask, like, what's Dallas going to do? Do you put the money into Dak and the money into CeeDee Lamb, or because you look around the league, the Chiefs, I mean, they're a team that hasn't paid wide receivers like that, right?
Go on.
The Bills are now kind of in that group because now they're in a situation where they don't have any big contracts in the wide receiver room anymore. They got rid of Gabe let Gabe walk, and then got rid of Stephon Diggs. Uh-huh. So it's just interesting. You see these teams that are successful that don't have that big wide receiver one that's going to demand I can't even believe I said this, $35 million a season, which is crazy that we're at that point.
No one's touching that. Not this year. This year.
Do you think Dallas would likely ends up re-signing to both of them?
Got to now. The big difference between KC and the rest of the league is KC has poured assets at least at the wide receiver position. A Sky Moore, Rashid Rice, Justin Ross, which hasn't done anything. They bring over Kadarius Toney, MVS. They had, so things aren't panning
Hollywood
out. But they just signed Hollywood. Who's wide receiver 2 in Dallas?
Fucking couldn't even not Gallup anymore.
Nope, he's not even there.
I couldn't even tell you. So it's a different.
You see what I'm saying, though?
It's a different situation.
So you almost have to now.
It blows my mind. When they said 35%, and this is where obviously 550 got to talking about it because it kind of makes you think about the Bills, right? The Bills were in a situation where they were paying Stephon Diggs a lot of money and then had the option to go out and potentially extend a Gabe Davis. Clearly, obviously, the Bills had other plans in mind. They went the whole different route. They got rid of the both of them and then drafted Keon Coleman and then bring in a Curtis Samuel, and then you bring in an MVS first season. This is where I would like to tell you that I wish the Bills would have drafted another wide receiver, because the Bills are in a situation where if this wide receiver room pans out, you got a really, really young group of guys, right? You got Curtis Samuel for the next 3 years. You got Khalil Shakir for at least the next 2 years. You got Keon Coleman on a 4-year contract. So it's just, I find it interesting because you look, what if Dallas signs to both of those guys? They're going to be in an interesting spot when all these other contracts come into play, because I mean, give it 2 years from now, you sign to both of them, then your defensive line, you have a bunch of expiring contracts. Now you're gonna have holes on different sides of whether it's the offensive line, defensive line, DB room, like all this stuff.
Micah will be soon.
I was gonna say Micah.
Javon Diggs will be soon.
And like we said, you got Dak CD right now. They're in an interesting situation. I just want to touch on Dallas just a little bit because I've been thinking about that the last couple of days. I mean, they find themselves in a situation that I'd like to think is rather interesting, right? Like,
well, haven't they held off on Dak Prescott these last couple of years? Has he been up for?
Well, no, he got an extension already.
Extended, and now
This will be his third one.
His third one. Yeah.
Third contract.
It's, I mean, I guess, I can't even say you can push off the inevitable, because even if you like franchise tag him, you're paying him a healthy amount of money right there. But that's what giving a new player a contract like that does help out with a little bit, because you can kind of push off money and put it into funny places, and like avoid big cap hits in certain seasons and stuff like that. But it just makes you, like, when you see a situation like that, and I'm sure Dallas is going to Dallas. They're going to have to go back to both of them. Like John said, they're going to find themselves in a cap situation that most teams wouldn't find themselves in, likely.
Jerry will weasel out. He always
finds a way, but then he always finds a way to make it happen, I guess. And it's Dallas. They're going to make the sexy move. Like, they're the team that they're going to make the move that I would tell you the league expects them to make to bring him back.
Who's your backup quarterback?
It's not Cooper Rush, right?
Fucking
Cooper
Rush and Trey Lance.
Oh, Trey Lance.
Is he still there?
Rush.
Fucking trade Dak.
Trade Dak.
Why not? What has he done? Okay. We'll say it this way. Being an outsider, because I don't really give a piss about.
He doesn't give a piss about nothing with the Bills and the Lions.
That's facts. But I don't care about Dallas, right? If they suck, I don't really care. But
America's team, my ass.
If you could probably get something pretty decent for Dak. He's a solid quarterback.
Someone will pay on that contract.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there's gonna be
is now the time?
I don't know what that trade market would be, but someone will definitely pay him the money if Dallas isn't willing to. Like, whether it's somewhere, it's going to be up there. I don't know what tier in terms of the contract. Like, we'll have to wait and see what Tua's contract is next. So, I mean, you would assume that he would get paid more than Tua. So maybe he's sitting back and watching this, but I have no idea. I just know that for 100% fact, someone will pay Dak if Dallas doesn't.
Right, 100%. So he has one more year. This is his last year?
Yeah.
At the end of this year, see ya.
I think that's not a bad idea.
If I was a Cowboys fan, I wouldn't be opposed.
Right. You could get a healthy amount of draft capital for
draft capital.
Like,
I mean, you're going to be saving what, 40 mil a year?
You can set yourself
close to
pretty for the next 2 years.
And you'll have your wide receiver one.
Yeah.
For years to come.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, which is one of the best defensive players in football. So, man,
I'm in. Yo, Cowboys fans, trade them.
I like it. That's probably
They'll win the Super Bowl this year, man. We know.
They got no choice but to. I mean, what do you think? This is probably Mike McCarthy's last shot at it.
Gotta be.
Crazy. I mean, what is this? Yeah. The third or fourth year in a row they got 12 wins or something like that. It's crazy how it's literally do or die right now. Three of your biggest players are contract are up for big time money. This is it for Mike, man. I
feel like they're due for a really big reset. Because in the past 10 years they've never been awful.
Right.
They've just been average.
They've been an average team, make the playoffs because NFC's whack. But they've never gone really anywhere. I think it's time. I think it's time for the Dallas reload.
It makes you see like a situation that's going on in Dallas, And then you look at Buffalo, right? And obviously we're a Bills podcast, so I want to compare two situations here. But like, it makes you kind of sit back and respect what Beane's doing a little bit. While it sucks losing to Stephon Diggs and it sucks losing Jordan Poyer, I love the fact that like the healthy, like, you know, healthy young reset, you know, save money, draft capital, all this jazz. Next season, I don't. It was somebody from maybe Pro Football Focus. I wish I could. Maybe it was Jeremy White. He had somebody. If it was him, he had somebody that was on the show when they were talking, and they were talking about the Bills and Dallas and comparing kind of how we are right now. And he was going on about how, you know, the Bills set themselves up where this season they obviously took a big hit getting rid of Diggs, but next season the Bills are going to have a lot more money than we're used to in the last couple of years in free agency. And he was like, dude, just from what he's heard, he's like, count the Bills in next season. They're going to be big spenders next season in the offseason.
Hey, man.
They're going to be active in the offseason. They're going to have a lot more money. It should be a little bit more of an exciting offseason. You know, I just think I'm excited. I'm excited because looking at Dallas and seeing the situation where they're going to probably pay these two guys and they're going to have holes, it just makes me respect Beane for avoiding that.
We say it every year. And Beane we trust.
BBB, big baller Beane.
I trust whatever Beane has to do.
So we're saying Dallas is re-signing to both of them. Probably.
You got to sign at least 2 out of the 3.
Fuck it. They're trading Dak. Dak's going to play this year. They're going to trade him next year. CD will get 29.5 a year.
Probably.
Michael will probably get damn near the same.
That's just probably an appropriate contract.
Yeah, because I mean,
you're not touching
No,
35.
you're not touching 35. And I think everyone was waiting to see what this Jefferson deal was going to look like. So now you're going to start to see the Jamar Chase deal start to roll, and it's going to be sort of in that range, not exactly 35, but pretty close to it. And CD Lamb's going to be right behind him.
Now,
Guys are going to get guaranteed 80 plus.
Yeah.
Not going to touch 110. No shot.
that's
No shot. Not within the next 2-3 years. There's no way.
I guess
in my opinion.
I guess so. It's kick things over to Minnesota. Obviously, they're the ones that started this whole conversation with re-signing Jettas. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, he's a generational talent. He's one of the best receivers we've seen in years play the game. And I will say, if there's going to be a guy that's going to create the next level of contracts for wide receivers, what did I say?
No, nothing. Not you.
Oh.
Keep rolling.
I would argue that it would be Justin Jefferson, right, to create that next level of money for wide receivers. And they're taking an interesting approach. I mean, yeah, they're going to pay the best receiver in football, but they've kind of got it a little backwards. Like, I'm not going to say they got it backwards, but they're doing it a little backwards, where they got their young quarterback on a rookie contract, not getting paid. Not saying, well, he's getting paid, but he's not getting paid the way a franchise quarterback right now will get paid in the NFL, and they're putting all the money into the wide receiver room with Jettas and what's the
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison. And Addison, not a bad number 2 either. Stepped in pretty well for Jettas. So that it's just interesting what the wide receiver world looks like right now, fellas.
So you've been listening to 550 a little bit here and there?
I'm like, it's like spotty just because of work schedule.
So Jeremy White's been talking about having the big contract with quarterback and receiver.
Yeah.
So if you want to tie this into the Bills, if Coleman ends up being in that, you know, second tier wide receivers, like really great, just not the Jettas, are you paying them? Because you can find yourself in that same spot where, dude, Josh needs an extension.
Yeah.
You got to go get him his big second contract. Kincaid will be
at that time. We'll need it right around that time. Yeah, this is true.
You know, so
this is true. It's tough. See,
but you almost have
there's exactly there's ways that I hope the Bills prepare for that exact situation, right? I hope the Bills do continue to draft wide receivers within the first 3 rounds for like at least the next 2 years, because you want to.
Well, it depends. If they're a big spender in the wide receiver market next year, like if a T. Higgins or an Ayuk or somebody becomes available,
that could change everything. That could change everything.
Now you're looking a little different.
That could change everything. It depends on what they spend money on, right? Like next season. Next season they're in the position where if they do want to go be aggressive with the wide receiver market, and they do want to be in contention for one of the best wide receivers in the market, they can. They'll be able to put up a contract like that. Who's T. Higgins is and Ayuk? Those are the first big names that come up to mind. Is there anybody else big? Right now would be Jamar Chase. Right now, right? That's the only. But he'll get paid. They're not going to let him walk. I would doubt it. I don't even think he wants to be separated from Burrow.
No AJ Brown. Yeah, those are probably the
top guys right
Those
there.
are your
Right
top
there.
3 for now.
So I mean, again, another solid wide receiver market next year. So, and who's to say that the Bills they've got 13 picks next year? Who's to say that they're not active in the trade market for wide receivers? So we're gonna find ourselves in an interesting situation. Shout out to John for moving up to read this Casey comment
I was wondering what he was doing.
because I
I thought he was inspecting the
I
camera.
can read it better now. Let me read it.
oh that's fine. That's fun.
I mean, I just don't get it, man. Let's pay a guy 35 mil for 128 catches, 1,800 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then let's pay a guy that is 135 catches, 1,700 yards, 12 TDs, 29.5 question mark.
So I think, and I'm gonna let John really have this one after this, but
But he's not the best wide receiver in the league.
I think it's obvious. Like so here's the difference too. Jetta's put up these numbers without a solid
With
quarterback.
Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins.
If
And
I'm
he was hurt.
if I'm not mistaken, and he was hurt.
That's the
And he was
big
hurt. He had a
That's a
hamstring
huge
injury the whole
part.
entire season, right? So
Hamstring, his core.
yeah, so he was
multiple
banged up,
injuries.
but we have to really highlight the fact that he put up those numbers with, like John just said,
The
Joshua
astronaut.
Dobbs
And CD Lamb has had Dak.
for years.
Yes, there was Cooper Rush in there for a little bit, but it's been mostly Dak.
100%.
So
100%.
That's
That's about as big of a point you can make with that argument.
There's just simply no way that, especially the Cowboys, are going to go and try to match the biggest contract ever for a non-quarterback. There's just
I just took
there's no way.
their best two. Oh, okay, best 2 seasons. Jetta's year 2 with Cousins, and then CD this year with Dak. Okay. But again, I mean, you watch it on the field. I mean, I don't think, unless I'm wrong, I mean, now witnessing it in person, there's nobody that seems to stress yourself out more when you're watching your defense on the field as a receiver than Justin Jefferson. I mean, I'll look back to the Bills-Vikings game
Seen it first
when the game was Bills had it wrapped up, just needed one last stop. You throw it up, and the man made the catch of a lifetime.
Fucking hate Cam Lewis.
He's sorry, Cam. Didn't mean to bring you back up, buddy.
Sorry, Cam.
But I mean, he's generational. He's absolutely. I mean, that's a guy that it sucks that the Bills didn't draft instead of. Not that I want to critique the last 4 years of Stephon Diggs' career, but I would have been perfectly fine with having Justin Jefferson the last 4 years. But he's kind of him, man. I mean,
The money shows.
yeah, I was gonna say like the money doesn't lie, but I mean, I get it. CD Lamb is a very, very good receiver, and I mean he's gonna demand
He's
a
just
lot of
not
money too.
35.
If he's looking for 35 mil a year, he's going to be on a street. There's no way. No team in their right mind is going to go and pay you 35 mil right now a year. There's just no way.
Can we say Lamb is a generational talent as well?
Yeah, he's a great receiver. There's nothing wrong with being a great receiver.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. No, there's not. But there's guys
there's levels.
there's guys that are
Jettas and everybody else.
yeah, there's
What do you
guys
think about Tyreek though? He's got to be.
There's
right up there,
Jettas and everybody else.
too. He's up there with him.
There's
He is.
Jettas and everybody else.
they're
Am I wrong?
I'm sitting here. I've been saying the same thing about Jettas, man. I think Jettas is probably
I'm with you though. When you put like if you go like tier A, I would have Jettas. Maybe if you go like Tyreek, it's CD, and then tier B is like your Jamars, T Higgins. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm with you.
Nobody touches that Jettas, Tyreek Hill.
Well, Tyreek's a little past. I mean, obviously, career-wise, he's a little older than Jefferson too. So I mean, that makes a little bit of a difference. But
Yeah,
in terms of just like the team, you take Tyreek off the team, Dolphins ain't the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the same thing about the Vikings as well. We seen it earlier in the season. Maybe CD with the Cowboys, I'm not 100% sure, but in terms of comparing all three of them, Jettas, Hill, CD, in my opinion.
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, all of a sudden now he wants a contract.
A new one.
Yeah,
That's why I brought him up.
which was interesting because
Crazy.
I mean, if we look back, I was told from the media that 2025 was probably going to be his last year potentially playing in the NFL. So interesting that he's.
Yeah, I think he's like just more money.
That's all it is a trend.
I think the Waddle contract rubbed him the wrong way.
Maybe.
I think that's really what it was.
Now, if they somehow find the way to extend him, like, and then put the money into Tua, I mean, come on. Like, if you really look at it, yeah,
Do it,
okay. Jalen
please.
Waddle is I was gonna say, please, like, sign.
Just do it.
If I can sign off on it, you'd have 12 of my signatures on it right now. I would just be signing it like crazy. But if you look at it, like, you want to talk about a team that could really probably set themselves up for an interesting situation over the next couple of years, it would be the Dolphins. They just put all this money into Jalen Waddle, which Jalen Waddle's a solid wide receiver. But then if Tyreek Hill, you extend him, now you got a wide
Tua.
receiver well into his 30s at the point of the end of his contract. And then
Javon
Tua.
Holland.
Javon Holland,
That's why they couldn't keep Christian Wilkins.
Jalen Phillips. I mean, they have guys that they're going to have to pay. So that's going to be interesting, man. I don't know that they're going to Dolphin.
Dolphins are going to Dolphin.
They're going to have all three of them still. And I mean, we've all had the Tua talk on here. I mean, not that we have to dive into it too much, but they're going to extend him. He's solid, but like, what have they done? They've now in multiple seasons blown the division when they potentially had it, and then knocked out of the playoffs 2 wild cards in a row. So I'd argue, like, you sure you want to put all this money into Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? Like John said, do it, man.
I'm all down for it.
The speed, like, it doesn't scare me the way it did when it first was like, oh my God, they had Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Like when that trade first happened, it doesn't scare me anymore, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, your quarterback's going to sell you by the time it matters. So now, hopefully,
They might score 28, but they're not going to stop a nosebleed.
right. The defense has now been completely decimated. Jordan Poyer's the answer, fellas. Jordan Poyer's the answer this year. That's the missing piece on defense.
Yeah, that's. I can't.
They got a missing piece at owner, GM.
I'm very excited.
Head coach seems to miss. He seems to go missing towards the end of the season.
It's one funny dude, though.
He is a funny guy. He kind of just.
So while we're just
He's all right.
talking about CeeDee Lamb and whatnot, do you guys put any stock in guys like that missing mandatory minicamp? So I'll just throw you my perspective quick, because him and another guy, Tank, you got it? Receiver.
Same team?
Thinking Ayuk
Ayuk, yes, thank you. Both of them,
There's been a couple.
yes. Those are the two big ones right now. Didn't report to mandatory minicamp.
I don't think Jamar Chase did either. And T. Higgins. I think the both of them
Yeah,
missed.
that's why. I mean, there's multiple.
I was saying.
I was just I was trying to bring it back to CD, but yeah.
Oh,
so,
my fault.
So actually, yeah, in general, with receivers, they get the tag being crybabies, whatever. But like, doesn't it, like, to me, it rubs me the wrong way. And I would be a terrible owner or GM, because I swear to God, I'd just cut him.
Ah.
Like, it's just so
You're going.
like, it's like, you're gonna get your money. You're getting
Just show up.
Life-changing money. Just
Show up.
Report
Just
your
be
job,
there.
man.
Be
You
there.
gotta run 25 routes. Just
I-
go do it.
I've never
It's
been.
just-
I've never been a fan of. It has always rubbed me the wrong way when these guys
Eh,
miss minicamp.
You know what? It rubs me the wrong way because you got arguably the best job in the world.
Mhm.
You get paid to play your lifelong dream, and you're eventually going to get paid. Just stick it out and wait for that day to come. If you
Right.
don't get paid by that team, you're going to get paid by the next. I don't see the big reasoning of them.
Yeah, man.
That's why I'm so happy for Jettas, because what have you ever heard him, like Kyler, unfollowing the team or
I hate that. Yeah.
all that bullshit? He never did. He showed up to everything. He was always there. You didn't hear
And
a
that-
peep, and he got his money.
That kind of reminds me of somebody else, but that had a problem with.
Defon
Yeah,
Diggs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, which I'm sure I'll tap into at some point here.
It's just annoying. Like, dude, it makes the NFL offseason just unwatchable for me. Like, I hate watching the Hard Knocks. I hate watching all that shit because it's always in there somewhere.
It is. It is.
And it's just so annoying.
It
Like
is-
Travis said it the right way. Dude, you're living
The dream.
Our dream.
The dream.
Every kid's dream. And you're just
This
not
is
going to
true.
show up. It's like,
This
come
is
on,
true.
man.
It does suck, especially like when it's your team, right? Like that's the other thing. I mean, how many times did we have to live through that nightmare with Stephon Diggs not showing up to minicamp, and then the Texans got a taste of it, and then it sounds like he did show up at some point here. So, like, it's just like show up, man.
Well, the thing is too, it's different now. Like with this new CBA, now they're getting fined for not showing up to the mandatory minicamp. So it's like Chris Jones, for example, last season, he missed however many mandatory minicamp sessions, got fined a certain amount for each time. Chiefs looked out for him. They worked a new deal. They gave him an opportunity to get that back pay with like the incentives and based in the contract. Not every team's going to be doing that.
Right.
They
So
shouldn't.
The fact that like you're not showing up to the mandatory minicamps, like cool back in the day, there was really no punishment for it. Now it's coming out of your pocket. So it really hurts the player more than it hurts the team. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
It's so silly when you look at it like that too, because you're not showing up to your job because you want to get paid more, but you're actively losing money while you're not showing up. It's like,
That's
dude,
the craziest
what are
part.
you doing? And like it's hefty. It's 15, 20,000 or something.
It's a lot
a day.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
it adds up quick.
that ain't no pocket change.
No.
For
To some,
NFL players,
to some guys, maybe that's like, damn it, okay, all right, whatever.
Missing multiple.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is starting to add up. Suddenly, you miss a week, and you're like, oh my god,
I mean, you're
I'm
talking
140,000 while in the hole.
talking about like 2 brand new cars.
Easily.
This is true.
Talking about
This
a
is
down
true.
payment on
a house.
$900,000 house.
This is all very true. This is all very true.
I just wanted you guys' opinion, just because we went through it last year with Diggs, and that obviously
Team seat every year.
whatever. But it's just like every year, it's like, dude, come on. Like,
And I'm sure a big part of it too is like it's not even mostly just the players. It's definitely the agents in their ear too. It's like, okay, if you don't show up, like
That's a good point.
you're gonna get hurt a little bit, but we're gonna make it up some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Whether it's here or a different place, but I'm sure a lot of it has to do with the agents.
Yeah, they want to get paid too. So,
Yeah, I mean,
it's all at the end of the
they
day.
get a percentage.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is annoying, but it's all a business.
Right.
But
Right.
like we said, you're living everyone's lifelong dream, and you're just gonna take advantage of it.
Switch over to the Bills side of the world here. Some quick tidbits. Spencer Brown. We just got talked about in the beginning of the podcast. I figure we should probably talk about it on here. Spencer Brown, man, recovering from his off-season solar surgery. What had happened during the KC playoff loss. But Travis, something interesting happened on his way home on Big Tree Road. What happened, Travis?
He was at a red light.
Yeah.
Lunged over to his passenger side window, and he tore it again, or he
Dislocated it.
dislocated it again. And he said,
Did you hear about this?
No clue.
Yeah, dislocated it
I just showed
on
him
the way
right
home.
before we started the podcast. He drove.
He's just reaching for something.
And he dislocated it again.
Yeah.
So the backstory, that's the backstory on the injury. It's kind of interesting. I mean, he finished the game with a bad shoulder injury, and then on his way home to re-dislocate. It's probably not a fun experience.
Not a fun drive home at all.
How about the fact he'll be ready apparently for week 1? He's probably going to set up on the PUP list, but he should be ready for week 1. That's what the thigh doctor says. The thigh doctor on Twitter is a guy that likes to lead us in the right direction here on the BillsAholic pod. He doesn't really typically lead me anywhere in the wrong direction with injuries. So he should be ready by week 1. But I just when you hear that,
it's
you're
just
like,
wild.
wow. You're like that. You don't hear stuff like that too often.
Because that's an everyday thing, and you get hurt doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
So fortunate, bro.
That is unfortunate, and I'm wondering if he doesn't do that, does it make, like, he was gonna have the surgery? It sounded like I'm sure he was gonna have a surgery regardless, but does that make it any worse to where it's like you have to have surgery and this is likely gonna push you back a little bit, like just because it's more serious? No.
Do we know if it was his rotator?
I have no idea.
Usually, if you tear something in your shoulder, you dislocate it. Like you can dislocate your shoulder, pop it back in, and be fine. Like it'd be a little sore. So that
Yeah, true.
Either way, it's badass. You finished the game. That sucks though.
So you're just in your car going home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Did it again.
and
Did it again.
My water bottle's. Oh shit!
Right, and then it's like And it's already not a fun drive, right? Because you just got eliminated from the playoffs. Like your season's over. So like it's already not your favorite drive home. And it's Buffalo, New York. So you know when you step out the car, it's gonna be cold as shit. And you're just like, damn, you get in your truck, you're like nothing, as long as I make it home, nothing can make this day any worse, right? Nothing can happen that can make this day any worse. Then you're right, you reach over for the water bottle and bam, your shoulder's gone. Your shoulder's gone.
If he has another solid season, is he going to get paid?
I hope so.
So you're now a believer.
I love, like, I mean, I would be wrong if I told the Bills are coming off their best season with the offensive line, and I was not a fan of changing any of it. Like I didn't want to change any of it. Really, I mean, I understand moving on from Morse. That makes sense to me as far as contract and getting younger and stuff like that. That makes sense. But I was not a fan of really changing anything up because you figure like the run game looked the best it's looked. Josh, if I'm not mistaken, took his least amount of sacks in a season this past season. So I mean, all this great stuff, and I mean, mind you, I'm sure with the Bills' money that they have, that one, they'll either probably make the move or they'll find somebody to step into that role that might be serviceable enough to what he provided. But I like him, man. I like him, man, and he's got grit.
Strong season.
He's clearly got grit, and he had a strong season. And I guess the season that I was hating on him, it's a little bit unfair.
We all were,
because it was a little bit unfair to hate on him.
But John wasn't.
I didn't. It wasn't clear to me until obviously it came out how bad his injury really was bothering him. That his injury was bothering him as bad as it did. And I mean, if you're hurt that bad, of course it's going to prevent your best play. I just didn't know that the injury was as bad as it really was. So, but sign me up for an extension.
Yeah.
Speaking of players getting signed,
we're not going to talk about Shane Simone or Simon. You're gonna talk about the wrestler.
No,
I was just laughing because you said that, and then this was what's on my phone. We've signed this linebacker. So I was like, oh, is this what he's gonna say?
No. I was trying to lead you into the Bills signing their rookie class.
Oh yeah.
Keon Coleman.
So you see, I knew he hadn't signed yet.
He's the only one.
Yeah. So because Travis
thought
Clayton signed right away. The international player signed like right away, like a day or two after the draft. And then everybody else signed today, and the only one that didn't say that's I find that to be really common, right? With their top draft pick.
Somebody on the radio said it. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, it's not like they have a lot of room to do anything with their contract, anyways. Like like the pick has like a designated amount of money you're supposed to pay somebody. So, I don't feed too much into that. It's cool to get everybody else signed. I mean, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. It makes sense. The Bills just got. Oh, you know what? Another discussion that we can get into is it's post June. Tre'Davious White's contract got the money.
Got their $10 million.
The Bills woke up on June 1st and they were $10 million richer. The bank account was a little bit healthier.
And now it's all gone. Essentially.
Yeah.
Close to.
We were all excited about the post June signings because there's still guys out there.
There's still time.
So, I was gonna say, while they were talking about the Bills being spenders, I wish it sucks when I reference somebody I don't know who it is. But he mentioned while the Bills will be spenders next offseason, he does think the Bills they will indulge a little bit in around late July, early August, potentially with a veteran or something.
We did last year
to somebody like whether it's on the D line or something like that or the wide receiver room, whatever.
I was gonna say,
hopefully Yannick. You mentioned that the other day.
I'm pounding the table for Yannick.
I believe that was you that mentioned that the other day.
I'm solid, man.
Yeah, so Yannick would be
pounding
solid.
the table for him.
This is not me leading into this segment, but I want you to know, just so you know, we're excited for the Who's the Man tonight because it is the Indianapolis Colts. So this is gonna be fun. I just was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I'm so hyped to do that tonight because that's your team. So it's sweet that we're gonna roll around and do that tonight. Usually you're pretty good for getting them right, but that would be bad. That would be bad.
You'll get mine fairly easy.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many Tank can just rip off like that. Because it should be
college.
Just
got it.
You actually might get mine from the college.
Okay. I can't wait to see.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun here. I have one other thing.
Yeah. The wrestler.
Yeah.
Abel Stevens.
The wrestler.
Yeah, that was exact. That's what I thought. That's the other thing I thought we were leading into, and we are going to talk about it. Gable Stevenson.
Sean McDermott kind of guy.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
Wrestler.
he and at first I figured it was probably a 1-year deal. I was like, that's probably a 1-year, deal. It's 3 years.
Huh?
It's 3 years.
It's 3
I
years.
didn't even see that.
It's a 3-year contract.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
It's a 3-year contract. That's
Wow.
I was having this argument at work the other day. I was like, dude, they're like, no, it's probably like a 1 year, just he's gonna be in camp and he's not gonna make the team. I was like, no, it's a 3-year deal. And most of the time when you sign somebody to a 3-year deal, you don't normally just go, all right, you didn't make the team.
Yeah, especially in June.
Like that's a contract that you kind of, when you hand it out, they got a chance at making the team. I mean, the guy's a strong guy. There's techniques and stuff when you play football that's clearly gonna have to be taught. But hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for
6'1" D tackle.
You're not gonna hear me. You're not gonna hear me complain because
They're just playing this D tackle.
he's playing D tackle.
Everyone thought he was going as edge. I thought he was going to edge.
That
Well,
motherfucker's gonna be on that kickoff unit.
that's and
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
exactly right there.
I'll put money on that.
Right there is exactly what we were talking about. I guarantee you.
Mhm.
That's a rule change signing.
That's
right there.
badass. Him and
That's
Reggie.
a rule change signing.
Yeah.
This dude,
He's a
I
good
would.
damn wrestler too. I follow him a little bit
I'm-
just from the USA
Legend.
Olympics.
I'm just
getting off, just get off, dude.
Damn good wrestler.
If he can put it together, man, we might have one of the better special teams tackles.
24.
Got his ass ran out of WWE because this dude had no personality, couldn't find his character in the ring. It was just like it wasn't translating. They try to call him out as the next Kurt Angle, and right from there, they didn't work out too well. So
Here he is.
maybe football will be different. We'll see.
One Bills drive.
If you guys do remember, right after he trained with or worked out for the Bills a couple months ago, he also worked out with the Dolphins that week.
Did he?
Maybe Bills just stepped in. We ain't gonna let you go there.
You're not going there. We don't want to have to worry about blocking you 2 times a
Do
season.
you also think that maybe, just potentially, maybe a small chance this could be like a PR stunt? I don't know. Because when I first seen that sign, I'm like,
For a
Okay.
3-year deal, probably not.
this is
Yeah.
before I seen that come
Gotcha,
out.
yeah.
But he's a big name.
Mm-hmm.
Olympic gold medalist, never played football. I think there's only one Olympic gold winner who won a Super Bowl. He's trying to be the next on the list. I forget the guy's name.
Was it the offensive lineman from the Eagles?
Can't remember.
It's kind of
Didn't Jordan Mailata?
No, it's not him. It's not him.
it's kind of
I thought he
funny.
had an interesting background before he got football.
Oh, I think he
Rugby.
does. He's an
Rugby?
he's an international player. He's just kind of like Travis Clayton.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
good.
It
Pretty damn good one.
Hope Travis Clayton
just
do that.
just maybe he pans out like that. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. Similar size. They're similar size football players, so maybe. No, but
Interesting.
it's an interesting signing. It kind of, not that I really was watching football too much back at this time, and I don't really remember the signing, but it kind of gives you like the Brock Lesnar with the Vikings vibes a little bit. Like when he made a run at football and it didn't work out when he made it past the first 2 cuts, then got released at the 3rd cut. But I'm telling you right now, 3-year contracts don't just. Everybody was telling me I was an idiot at work, but 3-year contracts don't just get handed out like that. Like,
No.
I'm right there with you.
like if there was a doubt, which I mean he still might. I mean maybe he comes in and he
He's
has. I would say he has a terrible
It's
camp.
just ass.
Right. I'm sure McDermott and them would be like, all right, we're gonna go other ways. But typically speaking, when you hand out a 3-year contract, there's a good chance that guy probably makes the team in some capacity, right?
But too, like McDermott, wrestling guy. I mean, he got the opportunity bringing in an Olympic gold medalist,
It's,
maybe one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Why not bring him in, see what he can do?
I was gonna say, man, because if he can make, maybe they have bigger aspirations. Maybe he's gonna be paired up right there with Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones. Maybe he's the
Bro,
guy.
bro,
He might be the next Aaron Donald for all we know. Like, I'm throwing names out there just based off the size, but if the Bills get, I don't know what the actual money looked like on
It
the
never
contract.
came out.
It'll be hilarious if that's like their big June signing right there
Oh,
is
jeez.
him. But I
all 10 mil.
like let's go right there, man. That's the guy.
Stevenson.
That would be. But hey, if it ends up paying off, like say he comes in and he has a solid season on special teams, if that's what it is, and he somehow makes an impact on defense, I think we'll be sitting here like, wow, there we go. We got a little bit of a steal there in June, man. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I don't think there was really anybody expecting that. My one coworker was real happy though. Like, we got an older guy at work named Sandy. I don't know if anybody in my work's watching this, but Sandy's a big wrestling guy. He's got the same wrestling background. He went to Edinburgh. Like, he was big wrestler. Then was like a ref and stuff like that. He was like walking around the dealership like when I told him that they signed him, he was like, "What? No way! Oh my God, the Bills!"
It's like he won the gold medal.
Oh my God! And then the next day we had somebody from the Bills come to work, like somebody from the office, and he was like, "I never get jerseys, but I'm getting a jersey. I'm getting a jersey." And the guy was like, "Cool, man.
That's
Cool."
hilarious.
He's like, I'm just in like the executive office. Like, I have nothing. Like, I'm just like an office guy. Like, I have no correlation with Gable Stevenson at all. It was funny though. He was real hyped.
Nice.
I mean, it gets me excited because Bills, they're trying to get creative. And I think it has something to do with that rule change. I'm glad John touched on that.
Good point.
Good point, John.
Good point.
Thanks, man.
Good
John,
point.
Good point, man.
Thanks, man.
Great point.
Did you guys catch any of the Bobby Babich interview?
I did not, unfortunately.
Nothing.
I
saw he went
caught,
live. I
Yeah.
just didn't tune
the
in.
only thing I caught was that we took a low blow from the Oilers, man. I don't know if you guys heard about that. The Edmonton Oilers.
Fuck 'em.
Head coach.
The head coach took a real low blow at the Buffalo Bills. So now all of a sudden I'm rooting for the Florida Sabres down there because they have, 7 people that previously on the Sabres that are in the Stanley Cup now. I'm rooting for them after that comment. Stupid Edmonton. Connor
Florida
McDavid.
took out my Rangers, but
Connor McDavid should have been a Buffalo Sabre.
Rangers guy.
Would you?
it's hard to follow a team that just can't win a game, dude. I'm still there with them, though. I'm still chugging along on the Sabres train, but
I'm gonna have to be Sabres through and through,
Yeah.
man. BillsAholic Pod, man.
That's right.
Let's go. Let's
What'd you
ride.
take from that Bobby Babich?
nothing.
Oh.
No, there's nothing like crazy.
That's it. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing crazy in there. Biggest thing I took away was his attitude towards whether, because obviously we don't know whether he's going to be the play caller or not.
Yeah, it's
He was-
still undecided.
Yeah, he made it known, like somebody asked, like, "Oh, could you touch on like why you didn't go?" Because he had 2 interviews, and he shot that down. Like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm here because this is where I want to be.
Mhm.
But his attitude going into the season, I just love it. I love that guy. That might be the biggest. I need a Bobby Babbitt jersey.
There you go.
But
There you
I
go.
like it.
Bobby Bad Bitch.
yeah, he
That's right.
no, he was just it was just kind of like a normal. I mean, what do you really have to talk about?
Right.
Hit a little bit on like Dwayne Casey and help me, the Dodge, the rookie.
Oh, from
Out of Utah?
From no. You're talking about the one out of Troy, right?
Oh, Troy.
Yeah.
Wrong college.
Javon
Solomon.
Solomon, yeah.
Troy.
Talked about just touched on them, like he's excited to work with
Yeah.
them and all
I'm excited
that.
about Javon Solomon. for sure.
One other takeaway was him and Adai are working very close with
Bishop.
I'm blanking Elam today.
Oh, okay.
Working very close with him. To me, that makes it seem like that bum coach that we got rid of. Not even gonna say his bum ass name.
Uh-huh.
Just didn't like him because they didn't click. Like the coach player aspect just didn't seem to be working there. So I'm excited to see what Kyrie Elam has to offer this year because he's gonna get a chance to play.
I think, and you know what, Kyrie Elam. Well, I'm hoping he takes a big step on the field. It sounds like even in one of his interviews that he seems to
the
have
sideline
taken a big
Mhm.
step off the field.
Mentally, too.
Mentally, and he was very open about what the last 2 years had meant to him, and kind of how he's grown over the last 2 years, and
Mhm.
that gets you excited too.
See, the same thing with Spencer Brown. We forget that he's had the injury bug, too. So
Yeah.
we really haven't seen him full potential either.
so and
So if that doesn't get you excited,
and the Bills secondary, well, obviously getting rid of Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer is big, but you have one of the best cornerback rooms that you've. Well, I mean, it's the same cornerback room pretty much, but you have probably arguably the best nickel cornerback in the game. Rasul Douglas, I mean, his play spoke on the field last year. He was a ball hawk.
Has not reported OTAs, by the way.
Yeah, he is not. But it
Doesn't matter.
I was gonna say
just wanted to
I
throw
feel like
that in there.
I feel like again that's a guy that like he'll be here. He'll
Yeah,
be
he'll
here.
be here.
And I think if he even plays, I mean, it would be wonderful to get half of what we got out of him. I mean, he was every game getting his hand on the football, whether he was picking up a fumble or whether he was intercepting the ball. The only game he didn't show up just happened to be the Kansas City playoff game.
He was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
He was hurt. That was a rush.
He had to
that
play
game.
though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
The defense was decimated, but so excited about that. And then you got Christian Benford, who, I mean, that's as rock solid as you can get at cornerback.
That's a
number 2.
breakout year for him, in my opinion.
And I think he'll probably have another big year this year for sure,
The numbers
especially with
weren't-
Babbage.
Like when you look at him, they're not sexy, but
But if
when
you're a
you
Bills
go
fan,
when like
yeah.
we're watching the game, we're like, oh, they haven't thrown to his side in like fucking 3 drives. It's like,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
why.
If you're a Bills fan, you know Christian Benford is certainly a very solid cornerback too. But I mean, John's right, man. You got to be excited about Kyer. He knows he's playing. Like, I mean, he's
next up.
He's next up, exactly. I mean, you count Rasul Douglas. What? This is last year in his contract. Kyer's got 2 more years this year and next year on his contract. So Rasul, he's likely probably out after this year would be my bet. And
if Kyer Elam takes a jump,
he probably would be,
and he looks comfortable playing in that defense with zone and whatnot, 100%. I think you say, Rasul, get rid of him, and you roll Elam and Benford.
Which is, I'm fine with that. Those are 2 young, solid,
potentially
solid corners.
You're gonna have to pay Benford a pretty penny, but you can extend Elam for cheap
because he didn't have the solid two seasons before potentially his breakout
you're
here.
Essentially gonna get 2 outside corners for the price of 1.
Yeah,
and if they both play well, I mean, that's a steal. That's an absolute steal,
right?
Not to mention, like you mentioned, Cole Bishop. He can play a slot corner, whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, I don't know. And then the rookie. I really like the rookie that they drafted,
Daquan Hardy.
So that cornerback room to me,
it's solid.
I would say
it's got to be one of the better ones.
And then corners for me are the 2 most like I'm confident I'm good.
Yeah, see, I feel the same way about the corners and linebackers. I'm gonna only throw one other position in there, position group that I feel solid about, and that's the D tackle room. I think the D tackle room's solidified.
Break it up, yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, like you got to be excited for this Bills defense. It's very young. I mean, your oldest guy is now Vaughn, and hopefully he takes a step back.
Step forward.
Step forward, but
Step forward and take the step back to what he was.
What he was,
Yeah,
exactly.
Bobby Babbage did add on that Vaughn looks good.
Woo,
Vaughn also.
let's get excited, boys.
Did you guys listen to Vaughn? He spoke a little bit.
I didn't get that.
I get
Pretty much a quick rundown paraphrase. He said, "Yeah, I feel good. I've been practicing without the knee brace, which he hated. He mentioned last year. He talked about how towards the end of the year he started
to feel like he was back.
better.
You could almost see it too.
Yeah. So he said he's excited to get back to a full training camp, a full off
This is
season.
fair. This is
I'm
all
excited for him. I think we're gonna see
logically
a good piece of what Vaughn was.
Yeah, I think logically he comes kind of back to what he was.
Yeah.
so
I mean, let's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like let's look. The Bills, Tre'Davious White was in a similar situation when he that year before he played this past season, and when he came back, he missed camp. He was that mid-season activation, came in and he just looked atrocious, right? Like it was just like, God, this is not the Trey White that we were all hyped up to potentially see again. But obviously, I mean, he came off of a torn ACL. That takes time. And then we saw it this past season before he tore the Achilles. He looked great. Like it was like, oh my God, we have our all-pro corner back. And Vaughn is now in that part of his recovery where it's like, okay, this is where if it goes the same way Tre'Davious White's did, he should be back. Like he should be back because you're right. He gets his full training camp. He gets his full off season. He's without the brace now. He's going to have the full training camp and the full preseason, and we'll be ready week 1. You don't have to question that. So this is like, as a player, that's got to be like awesome to feel like, hey man, I'm good. Like I got all this time ahead of me to train and get ready, and where he didn't have that last year. So, and I think a lot of Bills fans forget that, right? Like I think we're all critical, and we all, I mean, we all, for the most part, we sat there and we're like, dude, where the hell is Von Miller? Like, we pay him all this money. And there's a reason why he's betting on himself. And I think the reason he's betting on himself is he knows, like, dude, I got a full training camp ahead of me. I'm gonna be back. And I think that's the reason why he's betting on himself, because he feels it, dude. Like, he's like, I'm gonna help the team, but I'm also like, I'm back. Like, and he's gonna show us, I think. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was, we're talking about Von. We're going on this rant about Von, and then you bring in a guy like Yannick, potentially, I hope, and then you surround them with just a bunch of young guys. What's not to be excited for?
Exactly. I want to ask you guys, while we're on the defensive line,
Can I just throw one more in, and then I'm
absolutely
done with Babbage here. He
I
did
can talk
say
about Babbage all day.
that's my favorite coach.
right.
I can talk about
I
Babbage
fucking
all
love
day.
I love that dude. But the only thing he kind of mentioned about Cole Bishop was, they're taking it day by day with him. It was interesting, though. He said, I'll paraphrase a little bit, just talking about like his explosiveness, his willingness to go and just learn.
Brady's had a lot of size. He's got a lot of size to him too.
Yeah, and then he hit it with, but he's a rookie. So,
Oh boy, he's gonna get the Bills treatment.
I would be willing to bet he
He gets the Bills treatment.
yes, he's going to be a situational. I think he's going to play a lot in the box.
We'll
So-
probably maybe see him get that safety job year 2 or something like that.
I think with Rapp and Edwards back there, and not to mention DeMar's having himself an off season right now.
He did
Obviously,
pick Josh off.
You got to wait till the pads come on, but from reports I've been seeing on
He's having a solid
on
offseason.
Twitter, he looks good. He looks healthy.
Hey
I
man,
mean-
he knows that job.
It's wide open.
It's-
It's wide
It's
open.
wide open,
So,
and it's not like he doesn't have before the whole Bengals game. Like, it's not like he doesn't have the tape to show that he was at least serviceable back there, right? Like, he played a significant amount of time back
he
there.
was arguably
He stepped in.
Say it.
He stepped in.
Arguably good.
Say it.
He
Yeah.
stepped in and he was there.
When you looked at his film, yes, he made mistakes, but people forget.
He was.
Guys, he was like a
He
second.
was
year
I would say
player.
he's a year 2 guy,
He was a special teamer. But
stepping into
the
a role
thing
that he
I
wasn't
love
expecting
about
to step in.
DeMar is his willingness to come up and lay a hit stick.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love to see out of these safeties. I think with time, and obviously we didn't get to see that because our safeties, we had Mike Hyde and Poyer. If DeMar can take that next step in being a true safety and manning the middle of the field, I don't see why he doesn't have a legit shot in taking anybody's job.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely argue that DB room is, well, that secondary
Mhm.
is open. I mean, the only guy likely that's going to return as a starter is, well, not that even he was a starter last year, because like you said, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, but the guy that played back there the most was Taylor Rapp.
Mhm.
And Taylor Rapp, I would argue, is probably definitely, if there's anybody that's got a lock at being a starting safety, I'd tell you it's probably Taylor Rapp.
3-year deal.
I think a 3-year extension,
Yeah, I'd be
similar
willing-
to that Jordan Poyer extension, right?
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet
when
your
he got his first
week
one.
1 starters will be
Edwards
Mike
and Rapp,
and Rapp.
which I'm fine with.
I think Bishop and DeMar play a role because we saw last year how, especially like playing the Dolphins, you want DBs out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you can if your D line's good enough to stop the run game, you want DBs, you want to play that dime look. I think DeMar and Cole Bishop find themselves in a spot where not only can you win the first guy off the bench, but you're going to play a service role in
Mhm.
certain packages.
Mhm.
So really it's going to come down. Like, that's why I'm so excited for mini camp and all that, training camp, because to me, corner, D line, everybody everywhere on defense minus middle linebacker, corner 1, and probably one of the safeties. We don't know who's going to start.
Right.
And
Right.
not Oliver.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't know. Like, this is an off season where we're not used to, like you said, Tre'Davious, the two
Having these guys already in the room.
So used to that now it's so wide open.
It's and like I've said, it's refreshing because it kind of gives you the vibes before you had all these guys and when you first started getting them, like when you first signed Mike Hyde and you first signed Jordan Poyer and you drafted Trey White. It's like at that time, the Bills defense, nobody knew that they were going to be the way they were going to be, but potentially, I mean, you got young guys. I mean, it's the second wave. Like we said, we broke it down. What Josh is going to have a few different teams he plays with. This is the second team that he's probably going to play with here that they're putting together. My one thing about Cole Bishop, I think you're right. He probably doesn't find himself starting yet at the safety position, but he brings the size. He brings that athletic ability. And I think, I don't know, man. I think that's a guy that I mean, we'll see. I don't want to put this pressure on him, but you play teams that have, like in the playoffs, that have had a Travis Kelce, or like they played the Steelers who had a Pat Freiermuth, and Cole Bishop is a guy that can go out there and probably be hip for hip with those guys, right? I mean, he's fast, he's got the size, he's young. So it's maybe you see him in a role like that where he's on these tight ends. I mean, the tight end, there's a lot of solid tight ends in the league. And you have a solid safety group where you're right. I'd say year one's probably Rapp and Edwards, but you're gonna find Bishop on the field. And I think you could find Bishop in a role like that. I think that's a perfect spot for him.
I think it all kind of comes down to how Milano comes back.
That's true too.
That's true too. All pro, you probably won't see as much as that. You won't see as much of that dime look. If he's kind of maybe takes a little bit of a step back, like coverage wise, you might see it more. But
God, I hope Milano comes back the way that we want him to.
I would be willing
Holy
to
shit.
bet he's going to look the same.
Holy shit, I hope he does.
I'm going to be willing to bet that.
You got Milano, and then, oh my God, Bernard, who, by the way, when we talk about a guy that, I mean, we have another 2 years of him this year and next year, that's going to be a guy that's going to need a contract, Bernard. And that's a guy that if he comes, I mean, there's nothing that he's really fighting back from, really. I mean, he was just banged up at the end of the season. But if there's a guy that can continue to play the way that he did, the Bills have one of the better middle linebackers in the league. Drew says, I love Bishop. He will be able to tackle in the open field. From film, I'd argue that you're absolutely right, Drew. He's a solid safety. You know what's funny, and it's not even one of the safeties that I really had. That's my love for the draft. It was just a guy that in the safety, like when I was looking at safeties, I was like, I toyed with the idea, but I was like, no, I was so sold on Cam Kitchens and all these guys.
The big schools.
Yeah, where I didn't really think too much about Cole Bishop, but after watching Cole Bishop, I always do that where I fall in love with the draft pick after we make the pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you,
if it was our job to look at every player, we would know.
Right.
But we were just trying.
We break it down to who we like.
Yeah,
like the guys were like, okay, this is who we want, and then they ended up.
Never feel bad about watching the highlight tape and being like, yeah, like.
All right, yeah, it's okay.
Favorite thing.
Yeah, that's the fun part about it. But I like Bishop. I like what he offers.
Defense gonna be fun to watch, man.
It's gonna be fun. It's young,
explosive,
and it's new. It's new, and that's the joy of it, man. When we open up against the Cardinals, it's a new football team on pretty much
there's
both
new
sides
faces.
Of the ball. Like offense,
I shouldn't say new faces, but there's
but it is for the most part new faces. Like on the offense, the wide receiver core, one returning actual starter is going to be Khalil Shakir. Like the rest of them are guys that we've never seen, right? Like that we've never seen in the Bills. He says we are firing them up. I get fired up just thinking about it. I think I talk about this at work all the time and I get made fun of, but I am already locked in Sunday, 1:00, home opener, NFL opener.
Yeah.
I can already picture it. It's going to be hot as shit probably.
That's fine.
Hopefully it's not like raining or something. That's the only other thing that you could think of in September. It would either be raining or it's going to be hot as hell. And hopefully
can't wait, man.
Hopefully I'm just, I'll
get to see the new young guns.
Exactly.
Amping it up all off season, even on like the opponent. Like, who the hell are the Cardinals going to be?
It's going to be that's going to be a fun game.
I'm calling.
That's going to be a fun game. You better call off.
Calling
you
off.
Get to see Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's the other thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. in the house.
I'm calling off.
First game.
First game of his career. We will be at Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first game of his career.
That'll be
I hope he has like a Hall of Fame career, and I can, tell my kids I was like, hey, I saw him playing his first game where he didn't do anything against the Bills. Hopefully,
7 targets.
But the rest of his career,
3 catches.
Killed it.
He
started off
he
rough,
killed it.
but he killed it.
He killed it, man.
It'd be cool if we're just smacking him and they throw a bomb to him, just be like, yeah, that's all.
We saw his first. We're gonna probably. I'd argue we probably see his first catch of his career. I don't think he's gonna be held. I don't think he's gonna be held catchless.
He better catch one.
He better. Yeah. Yo, could you imagine?
He's on the fantasy squad.
Oh God, no! I'm not drafting that high.
I'm
Good answer.
Well, with not knowing, especially with not knowing what the quarterback situation looks like, but then taking a rookie wide receiver like That's what I like about dynasty leagues, bro. I love the fact that like I'm in this league and it's like with you guys and it's just like, yo, it's just rookies in the draft area. I like that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Makes it feel like the NFL a little bit, like when I'm sitting there drafting players. But
Double up on your tape.
oh yeah, hell yeah. But no, you want to talk about getting fired up. I mean, I will tell you right now, I will be the first one to tell you I'm very excited to find myself at One Bills Drive home opener. I'm beyond excited to see. Because you know what?
94 days, 93 days.
Something like
I know
that.
that Tink
Well,
Talks
93 days till the Thursday kickoff.
Thursday kickoff.
So
I know Tink Talks been
97?
counting down.
97.
97.
Hey, we're under 100 days.
It'll be a blink of an eye.
It's the final stretch. Once you get under 100, yeah.
You get under
Once
100,
you get past July,
you're good.
We're
good.
in the clear.
You're good. And the months, let's be honest. I mean, the months have just absolutely they're flying by. They're flying by. It's already June 4th. Like,
It's
Yeah.
something about like as soon as like the NBA finals and like
the NHL.
Stanley Cup
Yeah.
ends, it's just like you're in this like dead zone.
Yeah.
Wow, you know
For
what I
just a
mean?
little bit, because all you got is baseball, and I mean that's tough. It's definitely tough, but hey, we're right around the corner from camp.
WNBA is getting hot.
Hey,
Hey,
it's,
they need to leave Caitlin Clark alone, man.
They
Oh,
need to.
shut up.
they need to. I'm a Caitlin Clark super fan.
I knew I'd get somebody.
I'm going to
When you're
Hey.
a superstar like that,
I knew
man,
I'd get
you're
somebody.
going to get that treatment. You're going to get
No,
that.
I completely understand. She's the new face.
I love the.
She's a new face of the league.
She
I get
is.
it.
I love the comparison that 550 was talking about when Jordan came into the league. The Pistons beat his ass. They physically beat him up.
They did.
That's just what happens. It's your welcome to the league moment, you know. So
Hey, I know we're getting an WNBA a little bit, but I'm kind of hurt what the Aces did to Daisha Fair, dude.
Well, they do work.
They cut her.
Oh damn.
Man,
She's from around here. She's a local.
Oh,
mhm.
man, that's
Went to
tough.
Syracuse and
Yeah.
drafted pretty high, and they cut her. She's a ball. She's a defensive
I
demon.
thought you was gonna say she's a ball.
No.
Oh my God.
Then she comes in, drops your shit.
Oh, she probably would too.
Yo, I'm
But I was gonna say she's defensive like crazy.
I'm a Caitlin Clark guy, but you know who's her teammate? God, what's her name?
Martin. Kate
Martin. Kate Ohm. For some reasons, she's a baller. She's a baller.
She's
I'm gonna put it like
intense.
She's a baller. She's a baller.
All right, well, if I wanted to grab Casey's that last comment. David never did anything. To be completely honest with you, I'm just gonna watch the Stanley Cup Finals and just enjoy it. Whoever wins, good for McDavid or Reinhard Okposo, Montour. I'm just gonna enjoy it now that I
Rodriguez.
don't got a dog in the fight, and I like both teams. I'm fine with either team.
Go Florida.
Go Florida Sabres. Let's go. You got the Bills. Well, you got 2/3 of the BillsAholic. I mean, technically the whole BillsAholic pod. He said he doesn't really care, so that's okay. Drew says it's the final countdown.
Just gonna enjoy it.
It is the final countdown, man. It blows by. Like I do feel like just yesterday I was walking out of the stadium and mother effing Tyler Bass. Here we are.
We'll be at a
Did you see that
preseason game
Sales
soon.
said he hit a 70-yard.
Oh, we talked about that a little bit last week. Yeah.
Oh, you guys did hit it.
We did.
Yeah.
We did hit it just like he hit the 70-yard field goal. I was like, damn, wish you'd have hit.
Redemption season, man.
wish you'd have
Redemption season.
wish you'd have hit that field goal against the Chiefs. That would have
Man
been
at the world.
a big field goal to hit. But hey, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes would have run right down the field anyway. So there was a lot of time on the clock, man. If all he needed was 13 seconds, a minute and 32 seconds was he could have went down the field 7 times. I mean, I'm definitely I'm math, and the nice thing about math is it doesn't lie. And
Chris's
Math is
math
math.
is mathin'.
that's mathing. I'm pretty sure that's probably a pretty close guess. Minute 32, he could probably go 700 yards, right?
Sure.
100 yards 7 times.
I'm sure you guys are going to talk about this, but did you guys see Buffalo is placing a bid 2028 draft?
Yes, in the new stadium potentially. That's where they want to host it, right? So
Really?
you know what?
We
You know
talked
what?
about going to
before, and this is what I wanted to point out, because you're going to say we talked about going to Pittsburgh for the draft.
We will.
We want, and I
We
think
will.
I think we're going to make that trip for that.
the trip take?
Yeah, who knows where we'll be by then, but yeah. All right, you're back.
Oh,
Hey, real quick, that's on me, guys.
It's-
New setup. Power button is literally next to the armrest. Go to scoot in, get a little cozy, and shut it down. That's on me, fellas. I just gotta accept it. No, I'm not cutting any corners. It is what it is.
I'm not cutting any corners.
You know what I mean? I fucked up. That's on me.
We're not cutting you, Tank. Don't worry. We were just kidding. If we cut
You're
you,
under review.
if we cut you, Tank, we don't have a lot of options to turn to.
John, I mean, it's respectable, bro. I just got to face the consequences. That's it.
We might just find you. I know you showed up and all.
Damn.
Find you. Oh,
All right.
you're getting the Chris Jones fund.
At least I still have a job. I'll take it.
Hey, there you go.
I'll take it.
There you go. You want to know why you still have a job?
What's that?
Because you show up.
That's all that matters.
You show up.
That's right.
You show up. You perform for the most part. And I don't know what happened there.
As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna sit all the way over here.
There we go.
Just to avoid the situation.
He's quite far away from where he was originally sitting. No, but okay. So we were talking about the NFL
Sorry
draft.
about it.
The NFL draft. The Bills, like Tank said, like Tank said earlier.
I tried to.
If you guys caught it, the Bills did put in a bid to host the 2028 NFL draft. We've already seen cities like Cleveland, Detroit, Pittsburgh hosting it in 26?
Blue collar town.
So 25 or 26?
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Which
The next season.
that's interesting because look at when the draft is in April and the climates.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you, Cleveland, who is 2.5 hours away.
Mhm.
They're just right across the lake. If they hosted it in a similar city, I'm gonna tell you right now, like Cleveland is probably a little bit bigger than Buffalo, but when you're there, it's really they're almost the same to Buffalo, bro. Like as far as like how big it is, I would argue why not Buffalo, right? Like in a new venue, like a brand new stadium that's only going to be a year old at that point. I'd argue that they probably have a good shot at it. I definitely would say, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, my thing is just we'll have to see where the hell everyone is staying because I'm not sure. Super Bowl impossible.
Impossible.
Oh yeah,
not enough hotels.
Absolutely impossible.
A draft is more suitable.
Yeah, that is.
And I don't think it's ever been done inside an actual NFL stadium. So
it'll be interesting to see.
It's going to be a first.
It's going to be interesting to see.
So
There's a first for everything.
What I was looking at, found some sources on Twitter, just was reading some articles. The only reason I'm leaning towards the Bills not getting it is we look at this year's draft and there was 125,000 people a day coming in.
Right.
There's nowhere for these people to be. Hotels would be over. But I mean, when you look at venue itself, there's a few places like near the water. There's some other spots. Like, I don't know if the actual draft itself could be put into that stadium and ran the way that the NFL wants it to be, just be for the TV aspect of it. That's why I think being in the stadium won't work. But I will say,
down the city or something.
If they do get it, and the NFL's like, yeah, let's do it. I think it would only be good publicity for the city of Buffalo itself and the Bills. So
yeah,
I for now I'm going to lean on. I don't think they get it, but we'll see how. Like if the Green Bay draft goes well, I'd be all.
I was going to say,
I'll even say Pittsburgh.
I was going to say you got because like
Pittsburgh's big though.
But like if you look at it, they're just kind of going right around Buffalo, man. Like they're like, all right, we're in Wisconsin. We're in Cleveland. All right, we're gonna go to Pittsburgh. Maybe we'll do Buffalo. Maybe Detroit. Like all these cities that they might be a little bit bigger than Buffalo, but I'm gonna tell you right now, you put the draft down in the city of Buffalo. I think you could. Like I really think you could.
There'd be a lot
good luck getting anywhere that week.
Oh yeah.
Hey man,
it's already trouble as it is just for like a Sabres game.
Like this is true, but if you really think the amount of money that would bring to the city,
no doubt,
would be like I don't see why Buffalo would pass up on it. Like I don't think Buffalo would at all. And I would like to think the NFL would probably be open to the idea. They know what Buffalo and Bills fans means to the Bills and then the NFL. I mean, I could see it being a big chance. Well, there's a big chance, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to showcase during the recent home playoff games because there hasn't been one of those in so long.
Yeah,
and just recently, I mean, kind of showcased it in prime time. absolutely insane atmosphere, man. So it's like it really depends on where they put it. Downtown would be cool, but I think if you're doing it at the actual stadium,
It makes it tough.
It's going to show that okay, we could actually host, like the league could actually host shit at this stadium and at this venue. My thing is just if you do it in Orchard Park, where are you gonna go to fucking Target like 20 minutes away or like Red Robin? There's no other like you're literally gonna have to drive all the way downtown Buffalo to like do activities, go to different restaurants and everything. That's my only thing.
I would probably think if the Bills get it, it would probably be downtown. I mean, everybody else is, and maybe they do change it up. Maybe they
now it's free,
right? Like maybe they do change it up and they do finally put it into a stadium, and because it's such a new stadium, maybe they take that chance. But I mean, everywhere else has always been in a city, right? So
they could easily sell tickets. I mean, if you want to get seats to sit in the actual stadium and watch the draft there, you'd sell tickets there. You host watch parties for free outside. I mean, there's enough room down there, but bro, it's already hell getting out of those parking lots for Bills games.
Oh my god!
Just imagine that, like John said, 125,000 people a day.
And bring tents.
And not to mention, like when you think about it, I don't know how fast they're gonna get rid of the stadium across the street, the one we're in.
Oh, it'll be gone just like that.
You think?
There's been some reports that they might put another field. They're gonna not knock it down fully, but make it like the stadium itself smaller and keep the field
for like concerts and shit.
Football games, not the Bills, but like an outdoor practice spot, shit like that.
I just don't know how if being down there every single week, I don't know how you could take away that, like the amount of like parking is just an absolute mess down at the Bills Stadium on game day. And to say like, hey, we're gonna keep this up and we're not gonna create any more parking would absolutely cause like the next like 30 years of fans going to that stadium. The PSLs already want to give people heart attacks for the amount of money people have to spend. Now you're gonna tell them that, hey, parking is just gonna continue to be a bitch for the next 30 years.
Actually go like 2 miles up.
Yeah, so I would probably there to me, I feel like you have to just knock it down.
I would say just from knowing like some of the stuff that I know, you could probably bank on that just being
parking.
Another parking lot. Yeah.
I would assume it's probably parking, and then like my assumption, if they do it right, it's parking, and then where the 50-yard line is right now, they probably have like a little like, hey, this is where the 50-yard line was. Like something like that, something fun like that.
A light pole or something.
Yeah. Just like kind of how when we were at the game before they broke the ground a couple of years ago, they had the thing that hey, this is going to be the new 50-yard line.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
We got to catch up on some comments. JTL he's here. He's here, man. He said he loves us. He said got some wings from Wing Nut. Hey, I tried them the other day. They're fire. I'm at the Wing Nuts comment right before Drew's. Dinosaur Barbecue, fire. Downtown Buffalo, beautiful.
We gotta make our way out over to Wing
I'm
Nuts.
assuming Nightmare. If he's saying Nightmare, my assumption he's talking about the Bills parking. And then Drew says, and then Drew says keep the cemetery. I'd probably think they have to, right? Like that's probably something they have to work around, right?
How many Bills games have you been to, JTO?
Hasn't gone to one. He hasn't been to one at the stadium.
Oh, he hasn't?
That a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Also, Ben McMine's comment was the boys. Just want to throw that out.
What's going on,
I didn't even see it. I got you. I don't think so. I would say that must have been above the JTL comments.
It was, yeah.
Oh, I say I feel bad. I don't want to make it seem like not acknowledging them. One home game last year.
Okay.
Hey, JTL, man, if you do go to any games this year, just because we have to make it happen. We have to have a BillsAholic and JTL meet up, man. We'll have to meet up and say what's up, man, because you're one of our biggest fans.
He's got to come to the home opener.
First home game of the season last year. Hey, JTL, make it to the home opener, man. We'll link up. We'll tailgate. We'll tailgate with each other, man. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Tailgate. BillsAholicPod tailgate, man. We'll make it happen.
Hey, one more thing while we're talking about hosting the draft, I'm just going to point out, much smaller level, but the NHL does host the Combine in Buffalo at the Harbor Center. Just throwing it out there, much smaller, but does kind of point to
draft too. Not too a couple years ago when we drafted him.
You might be right.
Yes, they've hosted a draft as well. Yeah, just
not that that's a big draft.
Much smaller.
Yeah, all right,
but it can be done.
Amen.
Buffalo hosts things.
Buffalo. Hey, let's hope.
Oh,
I was gonna say, did they forget about us?
I think you forgot about us. I'm gonna put him on speaker too.
Dang, Maranto. We're still back here recording. Oh, that's a new person.
That is a new person. Who is that?
What did you guys think about Steph's? All right, we're gonna get into that comment right after Maranto here, but I wanted to talk about that. So that's a fire.
I was waiting for that.
That's a little tidbit that I like. Shout out. Who? I'm sorry. Who is that?
Tano?
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 Who's that?
Does that say Tano?
Tonoe.
If that's
T-O-N-A-E.
Oh.
if that's who I think it is, it might be my boy from work. And if that's him, I don't know. I've got a Tano at work. I feel like that's not a popular name. I got I can't think of it.
Bannister?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Bannister.
A different. Hey man, Tano is not a popular name, so I don't think so at least.
JTL's going to
But hey.
Dolphins Bills in November.
All right. So JTL, Bills, Dolphins. We'll have to figure out. We got the lights back. Maybe Maranto just forgot to pay the light bill this month. I'm not sure what happened there.
Maybe you forgot about us.
But let's have the conversation that I was eventually going to lead into. So I'm glad we got the comment. Speaking of comments, Stephon Diggs made some comments today about. Oh, I got it. Travis is on a wire.
My foot was on a wire.
About our guy Josh. And this might make the feelings feel a little bit better about some of those Bills fans. Some of us sitting at the table.
He's less dickheadish.
That really just disliked Stephon Diggs for the last couple of months due to Twitter reasonings and stuff like that in the past. And he said some pretty nice things about Josh, man. He says he's got a lot of love for him. And what I thought was actually really funny was the end of his presser after he was like, I got a lot of love for him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I did love how he's like, yo, give my guy a hug and kiss. So yeah. I don't think there's any really ill will between the two. You know, they had to go their separate ways. I would argue that maybe he left Buffalo better than the way he left Minnesota.
That's
but
a good point, actually.
It made me feel a little better about Stephon Diggs because I was butthurt.
And
still am.
We were butthurt for a while because we didn't really hear anything from Diggs.
Yeah.
Like this is actually like the first time he's actually spoke to the media about leaving Buffalo.
Yeah.
So coming from somebody that when we traded Diggs, I no ill will towards him. Don't like I didn't like how you guys felt. I didn't. It's kind of towards him.
I just didn't like the comments leading up to it.
I hear you. I just like for me, I didn't care about none of that. So this. Yeah, it didn't really do much for me. It's good to hear, but for me, I already kind of assumed that. So,
right.
But for him to publicly go on and just kind of clear the air,
put a bow on it.
I'm good.
That was cool.
Enjoy the rest of your career.
That was cool. Yeah, let's see.
See us. We'll see you later on in the season.
I'm also somebody that thinks he just might get his name up on the Ring of Honor. So. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, man, we'll see.
I'm waiting for it. He's back.
I would say if there was a receiver that deserves it, it's Steph for what he did, for what he's done for the Bills. I mean, Steph deserves it. Is Molds up there yet? On the Ring of Honor, on the wall?
I don't believe so.
I feel like Molds deserves it. I would.
I got to put him up before it did.
I was gonna say, as a Bills fan, I think it's if I'm Eric Molds and Stephon Diggs gets put up before me, I'm feeling a little disrespected. I'm like, are we being for real? Like, I think that's something I deserve over Stephon Diggs, but because Eric Molds was arguably one of the best Bills wide receivers too. He's right up there with Andre Reed, and Steph's. He's right up there. He's right up there. Stephon Diggs is I mean, he's got to be top 3 right there. I mean, the 3 best Bills receivers I'd argue with all time are Andre Reed, Eric Molds, and Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully my boy Keon Coleman just happens to get up into that. I'm really pulling for Keon, man. I want him to just be. I want him to be that guy. I want him to be that guy so bad. Looks like you're scrolling through it. Nope. Ralph Wilson was the last one, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Sense. Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense. All right. Is it that time? Who's the man?
Who's the man?
All right, this is Tank's favorite Who's the Man, I think. Up this week, because we're in the AFC South, is Tank's truly the Indianapolis Colts.
Let's go.
So who is going to start us off this week?
How would you go ahead, John?
Okay.
Oh, by the way, John, I only managed to get 1 point while you were gone.
I saw that, man. I get to.
Got absolutely stumped.
I can try to catch up. All right, man.
Tank, can you just show the comments real quick? Sorry. Keon, let's go.
All righty, man. South Florida University.
Not there yet.
Disappointed.
Sure.
Drafted in the 4th round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the Indianapolis Colts. This individual played for the Colts, the Texans, the 49ers, Broncos, and the Cardinals. He is currently a free agent. And so far in his career, he has tallied 583 rushing attempts with 2,568 rushing yards and 21 total touchdowns.
Got it.
Throw you a little bonus if you played fantasy back then. A fantasy monster
I didn't play in fantasy
for
that.
2 years.
Can I see this? The hints?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of like right here.
I thought you were going to get off to college, man.
No,
Just
surprisingly
because
not.
And that's the
not
order?
many people. What's up?
That's the order of teams?
Yeah, I can't give you the dates, though.
And why not? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I might be stumped.
Ah.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
He's current.
Apparently I don't know the Colts.
I might be wrong.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
No.
You know that, Travis. Come on.
I can't even think. I can tell you that I can't even think of a guy, a name to put on there.
From South Florida University?
Oh, the guy that I think of.
I know who it is, but just say the teams again.
Colts, Texans, 49ers, Broncos, and Cardinals.
They're in that order, just you can't say the
Yeah.
dates.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if you said Cardinals or not.
I want to say this guy, but I don't think he has 21 total touchdowns.
I get stumped again.
That's what you're hit on? You're stuck on is the touchdowns?
Because this guy's played for, I'm pretty sure, all those teams.
Might as well throw it out there.
Throw it out
It's
there.
wrong because this guy's
your attitude.
This guy's ass.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You have a chance to steal it tonight.
I'm gonna be wrong.
I'm gonna be wrong because
Travis, you don't know that unless you say it, dude.
I'm gonna be wrong because I don't have a guess. So we're gonna be wrong for two different reasons. If I had a guess, I would just say it.
Not even a guess.
I really don't even have a guy, which is bad.
His first couple, like early on in his career, fantasy wise, he was him.
No.
Yeah, see, I was fucking.
What'd you guess?
I went Philip Lindsay.
That's the only name
Being
that
tapped.
that's the only name that I think of because I was just
He doesn't have 21 total touchdowns.
Before I throw it out there, you
just throw it out there, man.
Marlon Mack.
Oh my God, man.
Yep. What was it? 2018 and 2019
Damn, I
were
feel
his
like,
best 2 years.
I wish
and
I'd
Then they got
he was a
J-
fantasy
Then
monster.
they got JT. Said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I would have.
sorry, Marlon."
Wish I'd have went with somebody like that, man, because I feel like you guys are gonna get mine so fast. All right,
Sweet.
Man, I can't believe it was hard.
drafted in the first round by the Dolphins in 2009. He's played for the Dolphins for 3 seasons, Colts for 6 seasons, Bills for 1 season. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He started in 113 games, total 22 interceptions, 344 tackles, and total 2 sacks. And he had a brother in the NFL too. You got it over there, Tank.
No, I'm thinking 2009 Dolphins.
2009 draft. I got the privacy screen, so
Well, privacy screen, man. And a brother.
he had a brother in the NFL.
Uh-oh.
Why'd you say it like that?
He's like, oh, I don't know.
Because the guy I wrote down, I was very confident in.
Oh boy, there's an answer in there.
And I don't think he had a brother.
So I got it.
Show me.
Nah, I got to think about it. I don't want to be wrong.
I feel like we should have a rule. Once it's in the phone, it's
Yeah, once it's in the phone.
that's an answer.
Oh, you're tripping. I didn't even get to reread.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
You think you can see that?
Still can't read that.
Do you know who it is though? Guess not. That's a good one, Chris.
Thank you.
Defense.
And y'all forgot about him already. That's crazy.
There is no other hints I can give.
Nah, that's it.
I can't get anything else.
Because the next one will give it away.
I guess I'll just rock with my.
You probably actually, yeah.
It is?
I'll tell you in a second.
I had that at the second hint. I just.
I'll tell you. You're gonna.
Wow.
He was good, but I'd argue that his brother. Not okay. I'm not gonna say he was better, but his brother was.
Yeah, I just can't think of his name.
Thank you, JTL. Smash that like. Let's go.
Shout out JTL.
JTL's plugging.
Shout out to Andrew. Also, been in here a couple.
That's my boy Drew.
Yeah.
Drew Pock 716. That's my boy. You know it's Agent Zero. Drew, we were actually just talking about you today, man. We were just telling me, my brother and Travis were just talking about how we got to hang out soon.
What you thinking, Travis?
He's definitely writing down a guess. He's got a guess. He got it.
Let's go.
He got it.
Who the fuck's his brother?
So his brother is Vernon Davis.
That's his brother? Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
Arguably one of the very solid, very Darien Lake. Drew, that's a good idea. To hang out. Sorry, I couldn't let that comment go unnoticed. Yeah, no, man, I just can't do it anymore, guys.
Yeah.
There's a young man here.
It's a young man's game.
Maybe,
Trey,
maybe
it's
I
a young
did
man's
know
game.
that.
Hey, rest in peace, Vontae
I
Davis.
was gonna say, Yeah.
Rest in peace, Vontae Davis.
You know what? I feel like I did know that was his brother.
I could have thrown that hint out too. Unfortunately, he passed away recently. Could have thrown that hint out.
I feel
though.
like maybe they would have got it.
But I was gonna be like, hey, he played for the Bills and he retired at halftime. You guys would be like, oh, we got it. It's Vontae Davis, man.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
First round pick by the Bears in 1987.
All the way back. Holy
Played in the NFL for 14 years. Bears 1987 to 1993. Colts 1994 to 1997.
Got it.
Ravens.
Cool.
If you didn't get it then, you'll get it in two more guesses. Ravens 1999. San Diego Chargers 1999 to 2000. He led the Colts to the AFC Championship in 1995. Was selected to the Pro Bowl and was honored as Comeback Player of the Year. Colts fan know him as Captain Comeback.
That's right.
He is an active head coach in the NFL.
Oh,
What's his name?
bro.
I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Bro.
That was my last guess. I went hard, medium, easy.
I'm gonna spell the last name wrong.
You had him, Travis. You had him.
I did.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. The teams.
Dude, how'd you
Yeah.
spell Harbaugh? I went Harbaughh.
I didn't even get close to one. Harboughh.
Damn,
Harbaugh.
Travis, you had him.
No, he didn't.
Not even close, Tank.
Damn.
Not even close.
I
You know
thought
who had us? Him. He had us.
Which I can't believe.
I was
'cause
kinda
You know who I
surprised.
wanted to do?
Uh.
One of my favorite players, like growing up playing a video game, was Bob Sanders.
Bob fucking Sanders.
I wanted to
Safety.
put-
Bro, I'm
Safety
not gonna
Bob
lie to you,
Sanders.
the other day, I was at home. I didn't have nothing on, so I just threw on YouTube Patriots Colts 2006 AFC Championship game, bro. Oh, he's all over the fucking field.
He hit hard
And
too.
he got hurt like early on in the game, and literally the commentators just like, "Oh fuck, they're done,"
Mhm.
because without it, he's the reason why
Mhm.
they're in this position. But he came back, and obviously,
He had
They took
99
away,
hit
yeah.
power, 99
My
speed in one of
God.
those games.
Bob
Boy.
Sanders, boy.
The fumble every trip.
literally,
I see. So I went Marlon Mack because I was like, I want to make this one easy. Like, have fun.
He stumped us, man.
I can't believe that.
I forgot about Marlon Mack.
yeah,
I mean, come
he's
on.
still out there.
I mean, come
Most
on.
people do.
Who? It's tough because who outshined him right after
It's
he
crazy
left the
because,
Colts?
like, when I was
Arguably one of the
the
best running backs in the
transition's
NFL.
off.
Yeah, so
But
arguably.
like the thing with Marlon, like I think the one reason why he started slipping and JT got his opportunity because he couldn't stay on the field, bro. He
Mhm.
kept getting hurt.
Yeah.
That was his downfall.
Ooh, Dallas Clark went on a fire one.
So I just didn't know if you guys would have got that. But his 2019
Are
season,
we under attack?
he had 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns rushing.
I forgot we're right near the Niagara Falls Airport.
So, yeah.
Shout out Marlon.
Yep, he comes off that season to play 1 game.
That
4 carries, 26
that
yards.
Who's the man went a little faster than I thought.
You guys did good.
That was a fast Who's the man. Who's the man?
Throw it down on our board.
Who's the man? Yeah, update it real quick.
I'm stuck behind a wire. Or in front of a
So-
wire. I got wires all over me.
Okay.
Oh, man, you're funny.
What player did Drew say?
Dallas Clark, he's actually getting inducted to their Ring of Honor this season.
I saw that.
Well deserved.
Mm-hmm. For sure was. We're creeping.
John's creeping in, baby. He even took what? One point he took 1 week off. Or no, I'm thinking of Chris that took the other vacation.
Nah, listen, homie. I first off, I started late. So
exactly.
I've missed 3 total episodes now,
You gave him a
and
shot.
I'm still creeping.
You gave him a shot, John.
I can't believe Marlon Mack slipped past you like that.
Hey man, it's an unfortunate world we live in.
Philip Lindsay was a good guess, though.
Philip Lindsay was who I was thinking.
Wasn't a bad guess.
Philip
I
Lindsay
was trying
who
to
was
think
thinking.
of who you were thinking when you said, hey, he doesn't have 21 touchdowns, but he was an undrafted free agent, and he went to Denver first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had that crazy rookie season, and
Yep.
Well, that's
after that, just fell off.
yeah.
They were like, yeah, we're not going to use you anymore. Cut him. Just weird.
I think he's been on like 4 teams.
I don't think he
since
went to the
then.
Niners either, though.
Hey.
So
If Gable Stevenson does make the team, can we get homie a better number?
What's he wearing?
61.
61.
hey, it's Mike Zimmer. What's
Mike's.
wrong with that?
Ah, yeah.
No, come on.
What would you prefer him to wear?
Something in the 90s, man.
Might not have anything open.
He's got to earn 90.
That's
He's
Dwayne
got to
Carter.
earn 90 something.
That's fair. That's fair.
Wait,
90, 97
yeah.
taken?
90, 91,
92,
92.
93 is
90.
not Brandon Bryant anymore.
Who's 99?
Hey, you see what Von Miller said though?
I don't know.
You, see,
99, no. Like if
you got to earn that.
Nah, 99.
Yeah,
You got to be big.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to be.
You got to
Marcel
earn that.
Darius.
Well, not even big. You got to.
No, it just looks.
Good as
Oh.
fuck.
It just looks good on just a big dude.
What did
99.
What did Vaughn say?
Von says Gable Stevenson's locker is right next to his. He
Mhm.
called me and told me he's going to be attached to my hip. He's got all the athletic ability in the world.
Give me some space, bro.
Von Miller's like, yo, I'm trying to come back, man. I need to
Got
work on
time
my
for
own.
your
I need
Gable?
to work on my own craft here.
Hey, Gable, hit
Try
him
to
on
come
YouTube,
back.
bro.
Talk about roughing the passer. Holy, we're gonna see him out there fucking suplexing quarterbacks.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I only
Jeez.
seen the clip. It came out today. McDermott was working with them like 1-on-1 for a while.
Yeah, like
I think they said like an hour after practice or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, McDermott's like, dude, we are going to turn you into the best damn interior defensive lineman this game has ever seen. That would be
With
funny.
no football experience
The
too.
tools are there. I mean, the
Yeah.
explosiveness is natural to him now, just
Yeah.
from all those years of wrestling, especially freestyle wrestling. For those that don't know, you got to be explosive to do that shit because that's where all your throws and shit come in.
Right.
So, hey, man,
Uh-oh.
we'll see.
I get nervous now when I see that one bar of service up in the top left.
That's it.
That's what I seen before things went south last week. I seen it. I was like, hey, Travis, what do you think that means? And then like 15 minutes,
Tink left the room.
and then 15 minutes later, it was like, oh, the stream's gone. What? Oh my God. I was like, that probably
I'll tell
isn't
you what,
good.
I mean, that
Hey,
happened
no-
towards like the beginning of the show. At least we're getting close to the end now.
No,
And
no,
I have my distance away from this button.
no clip, no Travis, no reels around this time of the podcast when that thing's up
He
there.
picked literally the middle of the.
I feel bad. Hey, for those of you out there that watch our reels, there's one reel that I think we're just gonna hold on to that we're probably not posting. You guys can hear us. You guys can tell who's talking. You can see it, but it's a little pixelated, so we're just gonna.
I really
hold-
like that reel too.
We're gonna hold on to that one. Feel bad, Travis, because
I don't know. Chris texted me. He goes, "Could you just resend that one?" I'm like,
I thought because you know what, in the past when I tried to save them at work when you'd send them,
yeah,
and they
I
would
know,
take
yeah.
forever to load in because I had terrible service there. And when they would finally load in, I'd save them. They would save bad. And I was like, that's probably all that's happening. And you were like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. And then, and then I thought, and I looked at, I was like, this is Travis's fault, really. Huh.
Well, so when I watched the podcast back, I watch it on my TV. I don't go through my phone, so it really did not look that bad on my TV. I swear to God.
Really?
I don't.
You got
I don't
1080p?
I don't believe it.
Really, it's Moranto's
I swear to
fault.
God, it did not look that bad on my TV.
He's somehow catching a jab here.
That's crazy.
Moranto's got to call Spectrum.
Well, it's literally. I mean, I was talking with him yesterday about it. It's like we're thinking it has to be something with one of the Spectrum's cables up there. It might be loose, or they just got to swap it out for a newer one because it was literally storming that day, and I think that had an effect on it.
100%.
So it was definitely
bad,
moving around,
dude.
loosening it up. But
was
because
bad.
that's literally. I mean, the Wi-Fi was in and out sort of at the other place, but it was never like to that extent where it just completely shut everything down, just a matter of seconds. But
Absolutely.
One more quick note. McCaffrey got a little extension.
Yeah,
I was going to bring it up earlier.
Mhm.
So I guess my question was, because we're talking about Brandon Ayuk a little bit, what does that mean for him? Because obviously a good chunk of money is going towards McCaffrey extension.
Yeah.
Post-June, they got a little money that's going towards McCaffrey. What do you think that means for Brandon Ayuk?
Means he's a Buffalo.
I kind of feel like this is going to be a situation where the team's like, yo, listen, you're going to play on this 5th-year option or
And once you're done,
or you're not going to play this year kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, because if he comes out and has another good season, you're going to get your money. Like,
just not going to be there maybe.
I think the Niners are going to try to stronghold that, and I don't see a deal getting done.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they have the money.
Well, that plus, like, why else would you draft a wide receiver in the first round?
Right.
I think that gave it away right there. Whether if he's going to play on that 5th-year option or not, they
all
take Ricky
coulda.
Pearsall.
But they're
in the
also
first round
talking
for-
about dealing Debo.
I don't know if
You
I
know?
see that happening. I don't know.
If it was me running, the franchise, and it's, hey man, it's either Debo or I know it's not like this, or if it's Debo or Ayuk, I would go Ayuk. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
They already paid Debo though. I mean,
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't see a deal getting done. So I feel like it's kind of up to him to be like, all right, I'll just play, or
trade me.
you don't play, and your value is
Ayuk,
who
right?
knows?
You talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because I mean, he's either going to get traded, he's going to request a trade like he previously had, or
Mhm.
he's just going to have to play on that 5th-year option and say, okay, well, I'm handing out the free agency after this, so
Yeah.
you're going to put some tape out, and the rest will follow.
He can either really help his case or really hurt it. Because if he decides to skip all the training camp, all that, and one, he either doesn't play, it's a Le'Veon Bell situation, or if he goes out and plays like shit, or get hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
either one doesn't help his case. So I guess the next follow-up question would be like, we obviously see what the value is for Jefferson. We're starting to figure out what it is for CD and Chase. Where would you value Brandon Ayuk in terms of what he would be making per year? In my opinion, you're probably looking at something in the range of Jalen Waddle. For 28,
Yeah.
You know what
I was right at 26 to 28 right there. Because for me, he's that second tier of wide receivers, but he doesn't see nearly the volume that some of these guys are.
right.
But his production is right there with him with less volume, less targets.
Yep.
So to me, he's a top end receiver and he's young. So
Yeah, man.
I don't know. 22 would be low.
I think 22 is low ball.
I think the minimum.
Andrew had him at 22. If he goes for 22,
that's a deal.
God damn it, I hope he's a Bill.
I was
And
I think the minimum is 25.
Yeah, I would have him right at that. I would
the thing is,
I would
too,
have him
like-
above Waddle, but I think he's right there with him.
Right. I agree. And I think since today's the AFC South Colts, who's the man, like, just like after seeing all these contracts getting passed around right now, I'm kind of glad we did Michael Pittman early on
Thank
because
God.
who knows where that number would be right now.
Mhm.
I think we landed what? I think it was like 23, 24.
You
somewhere
Yeah.
think,
in
he,
that
you think
range.
he
So
might be kicking himself a little bit?
cash. I don't know.
Damn, man. If he's like, I might have just held out just a little bit.
It's that
Maybe a little bit,
it's
but
that game.
He still
you
got
gotta
paid.
play.
Yeah.
Like you and your agent have to sit there like, oh well, if we wait, then there might not be a team that's going to pay us, or we're going to get lowballed. So I mean,
This is true.
I don't know.
obviously with him though, like obviously you want that money. I don't
Mhm.
think he was concerned of where like what sort of tier he's on. Because even like when he was uncomfortable talking about the contract negotiation when he was asked about it by the media.
Yeah,
I think he's just there for the squad, bro. He's one of those guys, which I'm grateful for. But but all in all, I'm glad. Like looking back at it, got a hell of a fucking deal there.
Yeah.
The contract for me, like obviously Jeddah sets the market at the top end, but I look at that Waddle contract as being freaking detrimental to teams because I mean,
That
all
sucks.
in all, you're paying a guy.
Wide receiver 2.
Yeah, that's
You're
what sucks.
paying him wide receiver 1 money,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying he can't be a wide receiver,
But he's a
1.
wide receiver too. Like in
My
his
God,
offense.
that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
when you got Tyreek
that
Hill.
sucks.
That contract right there sets the market, in my opinion. And if I'm Jamar Chase, Ayuk,
T. Higgins.
those guys,
It's like what the hell is that?
you're like, I got to be that's what.
I mean, you
that's what
you
happened
arguably
with
have to.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you have to get paid that money, right? Like you're going to
Tyreek Hill's
demand that
sitting
money.
there like best receiver on this team, and he's making like almost like what is it, almost 8 or 9 mil less a year on average.
I'm not even sure.
I don't know, man. That contract to me, I love it being a Bills fan because, I mean, Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
I'll go pay Tua.
Yeah, go pay Tua, please.
Oh, they will. They will. That contract.
Give Tyreek an extension too while you're at it.
I mean, that'll. Which is like,
I think their punter's up. They sign him too.
yeah, right.
Fuck.
Right? I mean, it's just
Let
you
Javon
really
Holland
sit
go
there and you
free
just
agency.
like I said earlier in the podcast, it's so you have a GM that with the Bills that is very strategic about how like he thinks. I'd argue he thinks ahead more than most GMs. He has to, dude. Like because you see these GM like what's it? Chris Greer is that the Dolphins GM, and he just, I mean, bro, you just paid your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 1 money, and now you have your wide receiver 1 that you're likely going to extend, and then you have a quarterback that gets bounced out the playoffs. Well, he got bounced out the playoffs this year, but didn't even play last year in the playoffs. But it's just go pay them all, please. Go pay them
Yeah.
all. You've given up the division a few times. Just go pay them,
I think
please.
they're kind of
Go pay
realizing
him.
there that they have this small little window of
Now their
2
window's
years.
small. Yeah.
2 years, and I think they're realizing like, wow, like our defense, they built their defense just awful.
Would you argue where they are right now is where people were saying the Bills were just a season or two ago? Like, hey, this is the Bills.
No,
This is the Bills window now.
no. The media made it seem like the Bills window was like this, when in reality it's still like
It's
this.
yeah. Oh,
When you
but it's
look
still.
at
But
the
that's exactly what I'm
Dolphins-
talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the hype around the Bills. I'm telling you right now, and this is gonna. I'm biased. I'm the
Mhm.
BillsAholic pod.
No kidding.
I'm gonna tell you that the Bills window is still open, and it's still open as long as 17 is the quarterback.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the media told everybody, hey, the Bills got one last run at this before contract.
Yeah.
They're in contract hell.
And they
It's over.
avoided it.
And I'm gonna tell you right now. Now you're starting to see the Dolphins in this situation where they're about to have to pay their quarterback, and they're paying their 2 wide receivers. They just lost arguably one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
Bills have
Their
fucking
secondary
defense.
is what Jalen Ramsey and
Like,
Javon
last
Holland
year
and Jordan
was
Poyer.
the Dolphins' big window. I think after this year, when you start really seeing, like, you're going to see this year, their defense is going to be terrible.
It is.
They have to score a lot of points. That's where I think
That's where their mind is
the
at.
GM, coach, all that is, all right, we got to just hit offense, build the best offense we possibly can.
That's
to try to
crazy.
win football
It's
games.
crazy.
Like it gave it away when they let Christian Wilkins walk. They didn't even get
100%.
nothing for him.
gotta-
It's so crazy.
They'll get a compensation pick.
It
Hopefully it's a 4th rounder.
it blows my mind that like they
It makes you think how nice we got it over here with Brandon Bean, because he just does not toss out money like that.
and people were arguing with me in the TikTok comments saying that I'm crazy for calling him one of the best GMs in the league.
It shows.
Like Tank just said, everybody would have told you this past season, the media, the Bills were not able to run from it. Like everybody was like, hey, it's over. Like this is your last chance. If you don't win the Super Bowl this year, you're not winning it for a couple of years. Like you're done. and they dodged that cap pill. That like, I mean, dude, he's smart. He's smart with his money. The Bills have 13 picks next year.
And a
13
whole lot
picks
of
and
money.
a whole lot of money. Like, and they've already seen this solid invasion of youth. It's
And when you have a top 3 quarterback in the league, that's already your selling point right there. You know what I mean?
people still want to come here, and they're gonna have the money to pay him.
Yeah.
What's that?
Top 3. Who's 1 and 2?
Oh,
I just want to know.
or is he in your top
You want
2?
1 and 2? Because
Yeah.
I don't even have him at 3. It's Mahomes and Allen. To me.
Okay.
Oh, you have 2?
Yeah.
Who's your third?
Who's 3?
Now we're going through Tank's list right now.
Why not? You said top 3.
Tank's list. You just got to say the third.
I just said top 3. So I guess if you put 3,
We saw Stroud's list the other day.
Yeah.
What was it again?
Also,
Just
did you guys
reiterate.
even fucking see Stroud?
Stroud put himself in the top 5, which good for him. Bet on himself. But
Did you see where Allen was?
Well,
Not
he
on the
didn't have Allen on the list. To my knowledge.
Exactly.
Did you hear what he said about Stafford and
Stafford would have a bunch of Super Bowls or something like that if
and
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers wasn't.
Are we going off of just last season or just in general? Because this makes it different.
Just in general?
3 is Burrow.
Okay.
3 is Burrow.
I'm not going to argue
we'll
that when he's
argue
healthy.
about that next time?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm
'Cause I
not.
do want to touch on this quick. I have a very hot take that I've been kind of waiting. I'll just throw it out there.
Let me see if I can guess it. Let me see if I can guess your hot take.
It's about the Texans.
Oh, okay.
CJ Stroud's going downhill.
CJ Stroud's gonna have it.
Sophomore slump.
Sophomore slump.
Oh.
Fuck.
Hey, I love to
He
hear
has
that.
been just the way, like, obviously you come off of one of the best rookie quarterback years ever. You're feeling good. You make the playoffs. Obviously, you're going to have confidence, a little bit of an ego, but he's on these podcasts talking crazy.
Yeah.
Just talking crazy.
You want to trade for CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, please.
I would keep him in Dynasty.
Yeah.
I think the team in general, it's going to be a
No.
little bit of a
Don't
slump.
keep him in Dynasty.
Well, it's just my thing.
Got a first round pick.
My thing is that
2 of them.
like
Next 2 years.
okay, they won the division, but we forget that they were still 1 play away from losing it.
Yep.
1 yard away from losing it to the backup quarterback who's not even a franchise quarterback and a backup running back on that play.
Mhm.
Like, I know it's hypothetical, this and that, but just from looking from the first 5 games, Anthony Rich said it would not have came down to week 18. I'm sorry. And he's arguing that he cooked the Colts, this and that. And Zaire Franklin even called him out. He's like, listen, he said, you still haven't beat Anthony yet. He said, last time you guys went 1-on-1, you were down 28-7 at halftime. So it's like, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
People always forget that the Texans were playing a shit schedule. They were what?
Now
Now you win a
now-
division?
now
Yeah,
you
you're
have
going to get
to
some
go.
matchups. You're going to get
First
some
place
matchups.
schedule.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I like that take, man.
I'm ready.
I
for
like
them
that
to have-
take. We're coming
I
after the
have
Houston
nothing against-
fans. Let's
we
go.
love Stroud. If we were sitting here, we were
Hey,
hyping him
I-
up. Everything.
I was just hyping him up before the podcast at my house.
Mhm.
I was hyping him up. I don't have any
I-
ill will for him.
Nothing like that. I think he's gonna hit.
Let's go.
A
We
sophomore
found a real,
slump.
boys. We're coming for you, Houston.
Oh, I can't wait for that game.
I actually do.
We got him week 1 too, so it's
I'm-
popcorn's right out the gate. Man.
Yeah.
I'm truthfully.
I'm definitely turning that game on.
Truthfully, that's the
Mhm.
game that we're talking about at work, flying out to and going to my first away
Buffalo,
game. Yeah, really want to make that one happen. Really want to make that one
Yeah.
happen.
That just being an NFL fan, that's a game.
Yeah.
That is a game.
Yeah,
Forget
absolutely.
Diggs, forget all that. Just looking.
Just
at
an
the
AFC matchup.
Holy shit, that is.
I mean, that could have a lot of implications.
And
down the line.
like, I still think they're going to be good. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
discrediting them, but
They got a good squad.
let's just one season that like you got it. Last season you got it, but
I would.
let's not forget who else is in your division, bro. That's all I'm
I
saying.
want it to be the Colts, man. I do, man.
I'm still riding high on Richardson. I still think he's gonna miss at least one game though. Got it up there.
Come on. He had an interview with Pat McAfee. He got me even more hype, bro.
I had arguments. I was making arguments saying that he was going to be. Last year, I said I was like, dude, that's the best quarterback coming off the draft. Like I like because you know what? Like I love the whole like raw athletic ability. Like I love.
He's put on more muscle, bro. He's
And-
sitting. I
and-
think
I saw that.
he said he's sitting at 255 right now,
Yeah.
bro.
And dude,
His
he weighs
did
more
you see
than
the picture of the side by side.
Yeah.
You did.
You can see the difference.
It's a big difference.
I'm pulling for him, man.
Yeah.
pulling
I'm
for
excited
him.
just because the sample size we got just had you sitting there like, dude, come on. Like, I wish there was more of this.
Like
guy.
for what it's worth, I know it's just fantasy, but it does say something about him. He still finished top 5 or what was it, 15th in rushing like overall
Mhm.
in fantasy points.
Wow.
He only played 5 games.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
I would-
going to be so exciting to watch.
Hey, man.
And just like when you guys were mentioning DeMar Hamlin is tearing up camp right now and everything, AD Mitchell is fucking just guns blazing.
I
right
knew
now.
he was the fucking one that got away, man.
Good to
Yeah,
hear.
he's going to wind
Guns
up being.
God,
blazing.
knew
I
it.
think he scored. I think what they say. It was either 2 touchdowns today or 2 touchdowns in a matter of the past 2 days, and it was just this crazy over the top toe tap in the end zone.
Happy to hear that.
Man,
Just to
and we've got
finish out here, I
Coleman.
did just have this conversation with somebody at the gym because he was like, I wanted Coleman over him, blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, I don't know. There's just something about AD Mitchell that I really wanted because I kept mocking him to us. I wanted it to happen. And me and Casey have this little joke like the one that got away. I really do feel like he is the one that kind of slipped away.
Well, hey, man, he was there for the Bills to take him.
But hey, man, we'll see.
We'll see.
That's
Hey,
right.
We
We'll
got
see.
a good one too.
Keon Coleman will be, I think, fine for the Bills.
I think we got a good one.
Hopefully, I go back and I'm
Sure.
like, damn, on June 4th, I said he was going to be fine. And hopefully, like 10 years from now, I'm like, holy shit, he's the best wide receiver ever played for the Bills. That'd be,
I mean,
We
you
can
hope.
hope. We can hope.
I have
Everyone's saying about their rookies right
I
now.
have to hope.
Yeah.
I have to hope because if not, why even watch? You have to hope he pans out
Yeah.
for the Bills. All right. Anybody else got anything else to add tonight?
I think that wraps it up on my end.
Congratulations on the
We're
new
good.
set, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
appreciate
Finally came
that.
together.
Done.
Other
is
than me
nice.
turning the accidentally shutting the
Yeah.
clicking the button.
Hey,
off.
mistakes
It's okay.
happen.
Just the one hiccup.
It's okay, man. That's okay. The stream held on tonight. That was perfect. The Wi-Fi was a little scary at first, but we
Pulled
came through. We came through. JTL did say at one point earlier, he did say that he was like, hey, setup super nice. Shout out.
Looked
I don't know.
great,
I don't know
too.
if I acknowledged that, so I
Man,
shout
I'll
out.
be honest, like production wise, this is probably the best you guys show is like look camera
Look,
wise.
yeah, this is nice.
No doubt.
Nice.
Shout
This
out
is
to
nice.
Moranto. Shout out to Emerge, man.
Yeah.
Been a
100%.
Shout out.
for sure.
100%.
Excited for the
Hey, man, we got.
future of this.
I would say, like, just wait. We have some things that we definitely want to figure out and put into work for this season. So, and shout out to Moranto
Appreciate
for
you, Andrew.
that's our boy, man. That's our boy. Yeah, and shout out to Moranto because the things that we're gonna try to do with this channel would be impossible without him and everything that he's really helped create here at Emerge, man. So,
Round up.
yeah, and we're happy
Shout
to
out
be a
all-
part of it.
Everybody that commented also.
Anybody that's in here, hey, I know we only got 4 of us. If anybody's in here, and I swear, because I know he wants us to talk about it more. If anybody's in here that even has a thought about creating a podcast, man, definitely check out Emerge, man. I mean, all things are possible here as far as content. So, but hey, shout out to everybody that came in tonight. Make sure you share it around, like it, and I appreciate all the comments tonight, all the love. Shout out to Drew, shout out to JTL, shout out to McKenna for always being in here. Give her-
Casey will.
Give her some love. Casey, if he's still hanging out. Got to give McKenna love. It's almost 2 hours in. She didn't comment really tonight. She did once, I think, about your
Yeah.
airport thing. But she's here. She's always here, as always. That's one of our biggest fans. Hey, go Bills.
Go Bills.